let the people come in. Please tell the people to like the live and share it,
All
to
right. All
repost
right.
it.
Wait,
And
we live?
yeah, we
Yeah.
live on TikTok.
It's the Jordan Travis Show. Welcome back.
Word, yeah.
Welcome back.
Ba, 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 ba,
It's November
ba,
9th,
ba,
the
ba,
year 2025 of our Lord.
da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
No, I'm
Da.
not gonna take over. I thought Jordan was gonna pray.
Who?
Jordan?
They
Travis?
heard the last one.
No, there's
They heard the last one.
I
It's
couldn't hear it because I didn't have the headphone in, so I didn't get to
well, it still
experience your
work.
prayer.
You don't gotta hear everybody who's praying for you for it to work. It
Well,
work.
were you praying for me?
I mean, if you gonna start speaking, then yeah, sure, I guess. So you don't say nothing heretical.
Well, maybe
We
maybe
cooking
I
with
just
this
need a
one?
new prayer.
For sure. I should probably get the other with the window, huh?
So if I put that there, that goes there. Groove me, baby.
I want to love you.
Groove me like you, baby. Hey, hey, groove.
Do I agree with Bryce J?
Groove
There
me,
you go.
groove,
Agree with him
baby.
on what?
Is,
I ain't watched the
is
full.
it ASMR? Like you munching on chips?
Nah,
Groove me like
nah, I ain't see the full thing. Bryce was coming for Q Top's neck. All right, who? All right, all right, gang.
the gang's all here.
You ready?
DJ.
It's crazy because I didn't understand the thing. I gotta start reading. Trust me, bro. It's not you. It's not you. You ready? Can y'all finna have me cuss? Can y'all hear me? Can I get an answer? Can I get a response? Are you guys ready?
When you gonna start it?
All right, bro. See.
Okay, so today I am here to clear up the metaphysical blunder of Islam. They don't understand what we mean when we say essence and what we mean when we say personal relation. They don't understand that there is a creator-creature distinction, and they don't understand that existence cannot be divisible, meaning that the essence of God, which is identical to existence, cannot be divisible, which is distinct from the creation because the creation is bound by universals and particulars. So this is like
Abe, do you want to say anything to that?
Um, I mean,
I'm gonna just say stop whenever I hear something.
All right, cool.
yeah.
So I mean, what he's saying there is that,
Dang, we gonna explain everything, huh?
well, we kind of need to explain some things, but we're not gonna take long. What he's saying here is that God's essence, or what he is not different from that he is, which is different in creatures. In creatures, our essence, or what we are, is distinct from that we are, according to some philosophers. So he's saying that because the existence is not like different, the Father, Son, and Spirit share one existence, so there'll only be one God. I don't know what he started talking about with like universals and particulars, but yeah.
Also, it's kind of weird to open up your statement by saying the metaphysical blunder of Islam, because the debate's on the Trinity. So Islam is kind of relevant to this debate.
like the big blunder. So I'm going to kind of start this off by showing the transcendental necessity of existence not being able to be divided, which is very, very, very simple. Okay, existence, right, is reality. There's not multiple realities, therefore there cannot be many different distinctions in reality being essential, meaning that.
No, I don't know what that means. So when he says existence is reality, it sounds like he's kind of like equivocating on like existence there, because originally he said like God, like existence can't be divided, but if you're calling reality like uncreated order as well, then that can be divided. So you gotta make sure that when you're saying that, you know that you're specifically talking about like pure existence, which is God, versus like the created existences, which is like creation.
Hey, was you able to understand what he said?
I mean, I can guess at what he said, but there's no real way because the term reality is kind of a vague term. Obviously, we wouldn't say that the three persons of the Trinity have three distinct existences. But we
No,
also
I'm talking
wouldn't
about
say that.
Jordan, because Jordan, you started lagging as soon as you started speaking. I know you
You
can't
talking
understand
about?
I
what
started
Q-Top said.
lagging.
Yeah, you started lagging as soon as you started speaking.
Oh, I guess I need to restart my computer then.
No, bro, you chilling now.
I need to repeat everything I just said.
Yeah.
All right. I say he's equivocating on the word existence, right? Or reality. Because if you're saying that reality is like, there's a difference between the reality of like the pure existence of God and then the created existence. So if you're saying that all those together is like reality and there's only one of those, that's like, that has nothing to do with God being pure existence and indivisible. Because if you like indivisible, and if you put in the created order with that, the created order is divisible. So I'm lagging bad. I told you I had to restart my computer, bro. I told you.
No, you chilling, bro. I'm not doing all this again.
Reality as being the mind of God, as being the substance, the usia, can't actually be essentially divided. Because if it could be essentially divided, that would mean it'd be a particular. And if it's a particular, that means it's not God because it's dependent upon the universal. Now, here's the category issue that most Muslims make because they don't understand how we parse through these issues.
Can you stop that?
So what he's going to bring up today.
Abe?
Yeah, sorry, I was moving. Yeah, so he said if it's divided, then it would be a particular.
Yeah.
Right? Things like this are not helpful. Like these are the kind of assertions that they're not easy to track. Like how are you coming to this conclusion? That things, because they're divisible, they're going to be particulars which depend upon the universal.
Yeah.
So this is my issue with a lot of the things that he does throughout this debate is that he'll make these arguments as if they're the most clear and intuitive thing in the world, and then complain when people don't understand them. But that's all I have to say for now.
All right, we're gonna try to move through.
Okay, right, and I'm gonna this thesis is gonna be like threefold. What he's gonna bring up is like aliveness is law. He's gonna like make blunders about the creator creature distinction. He's gonna make blunders about the identity of indiscernibility. He doesn't actually understand what the identity of indiscernibility is and how it's categorically dependent. So what we're going to see is all these blunders. We're going to see how he doesn't understand that there's one substance, one existence, one essence, one God, one being with three subsistence relations. Now, here's the issue. The issue is very, very, very simple. The mode of subsistence or the way of subsistence does not change the content of subsistence. I'm going to say it again.
Now, I do want to like give credit to Jordan and his conversation with Q-Top because it kind of forced him to redefine or like make sure that he's like reiterating like SAN and SAI correctly. And you could kind of see that here. I don't know if you guys saw that conversation. That's on Jordan's channel. If you guys want to go and watch that conversation. It actually what ended up getting Jordan blocked. Glory be to God. So
Persecution.
Yeah.
That's the suffering of Christ.
But yes, I actually do. I am appreciative of that.
This is the thesis of the entire dialectic. The mode of subsistence, meaning the way of subsistence, does not change the content of subsistence, meaning there is one essence, one being, one God with three relational distinctions. And that's how we actually can ground knowledge. That's how we actually can ground love. That's how we actually can ground truth. That's why we know that these things are like, metaphysically necessary, given the fact that this triune God actually has to have the capability to ground these different things that require relational distinction. So this is just very, 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 very simple, right? At the root of the issue, he doesn't understand that we count dependent upon categories, meaning that when you apply the same counting methodology in your metaphysic to that which is concrete, fundamental, and ultimate, which is God, it doesn't actually logically follow. And so what we're going to see here, again, I'm going to make this very, very clear. I want you guys in the chat to really pay attention.
Stop. I don't know what he meant by that. Like the logically follow part, like what was exactly supposed to logically follow?
I think he's trying to say that like when you're counting by identity, you're counting a specific thing. So it doesn't logically follow that because there are three persons that are the one God, that there would be multiple gods. I think that's what he's trying to say, because you'll be counting persons if you're going to count that which is three. And you'll be counting like the essence.
Because the thing was, it just sounded like he was trying to say that like you just count it differently just because it's God and not something created, which I don't understand if that's what he means. But
yeah,
you can continue if you want.
Yeah, no, but that's the problem with at least this debate. Nay said it like she doesn't appreciate using advanced vocabulary for every sentence if in big audiences, because people have to be able to track what you're saying.
It's like a rhetoric thing, bro. People do that just to seem like, they're like advanced and smart and like whatever they're saying is right. Yeah. So when somebody uses big words on their side, they're like, the people on their side are like, yeah, he's using big words. He must be right. He's smart. He's so smart. And then like anybody who actually knows like the words that are being used are like, they're like, what's being said half the time.
And then he just,
to what we're going to see in this dialogue. What we're going to see is Islamic apex constantly conflate essence with personal relation. I'm going to say it again. What we're going to see is him constantly conflate essence with personal relation. Essence is what a thing is. The personal relation is who, meaning the subsistence of origin within that what. So we have three subsistences of origin, meaning the Father eternally begots the Son, and the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son, but it doesn't actually affect the divine essence. It doesn't make the divine essence composite because, again, the way that something exists does not change how it actually exists. This is just very, 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 very important. So again,
okay, he's making it sound like the persons are mere modes of existence, right? Like he's saying the way something exists doesn't make it what it is, doesn't change what it is, which is true, because we don't make a real distinction between a thing and its mode. But the issue with saying this is that we also don't make a real distinction between the modes themselves, and we know the persons are really distinct. So framing it in this way makes it seem like the persons are just modes of existences. Like you have God, and then God exists as a Father, and then he exists also as a Son and as a Holy Spirit. Yeah, we don't frame it this way. They're not mere modes of existences.
And I think that he would agree with that. It's just the way in which he's articulating it is odd.
It would be like saying, well, you have Abraham sleeping versus Abraham awake, and these two, they're not two really distinct persons simply because the modes are distinct.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I still have like 3 minutes, and I've gotten a lot out.
He starts yapping after this, so I'm going to skip because he just starts like reiterating a whole bunch of things and then just using big words for absolutely no reason because he has 3 minutes left of his time. He should have just yielded his time.
That's just gonna be the main blunder, guys. It's a metaphysical blunder. It's been going out around for a very, very long time. We're not modalists. We don't believe that there's one person operating in different modes. We don't believe there's three gods because they claim there are three gods. When we count anything in the creation, there's going to be some sort of essential distinction because of the principle of individuation. All the principle of individuation states is that for any discrete set of particulars, that which is the universal, the particulars are going to be dependent upon, but each discrete set of particulars is going to have something about them that actually make.
He's just talking. He's just using words. I'm gonna fast forward so that we could get through this debate and actually talk about something of substance.
The logic of was counting, he muffled for you?
Nah, who, me?
Like you were muffled like the whole sentence.
I just said that we gonna move forward because he just gets to like talking.
Yeah, just play it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think this is gonna be something important.
The classical counting method, which is also identified as a CCM, discussing the logic it follows God.
Okay, I didn't notice, but Orthodox Muslim is supposed to be showing the timer for his thing, and he's just showing his face for like
today,
a minute.
We're gonna show why the Christians have lied on Al-Masih, Messiah, son of Mary, claiming that he's God and that he is God with the Father and the Spirit, creating a triunity, and that therefore it's one God due to the fact that they share one essence. And what we're going to be demonstrating here today is that logically it follows, and that you cannot really evade the logical problem of the Trinity. And we're going to demonstrate that using two arguments. Let's start off by first, discussing the logic of counting, right? How is monotheism measured? Firstly, the foundation, which is counting and logic, obviously. To say that there is one God requires a logical system of counting. The classical counting method, which is also identified as a CCM, is the universal way humans count and discern things or distinguish things. Counting depends on two axioms. We have the axiom number one, which is distinct units. That is defined as for any two counted things, they must be really distinct, meaning X and Y, they are distinct and they are not each other. Axiom two is the class. Counting happens within a type. To count apples, each must truly be an apple. Let's start with the first argument, which is the classical counting method argument, the CCM. For all x, this is premise one, by the way. We're going to give it in a syllogistic matter. Premise one, for all x and y, if x is God.
I don't know if something has to really be distinct, like actually really be distinct in order for you to count it. Like you can count like different conceptual things. Also,
yeah, that's true.
Also, he's saying that this is the universal way in which people count. I don't think that's the case either, because I think he's talking about like some form of like identity relation, but he's also bringing up like certain type of categories as well. But if you're saying that people just like count based off of like all the predicates being the same, like everything you could say about one thing is the exact same as the other thing, then like nobody counts that way. Because like just like the dude I was arguing with yesterday, like for instance, this water bottle, right? This is now a different water bottle because the time has changed. Like the predicates aren't like exactly all the same. So you would have to count two different objects in certain cases. Like, so it just gets weird if you're talking about like we count everything that way. Yeah. That's just like if like a drop of water like leaves a cloud, like nobody says like, oh yeah, that's cloud number 2. Like, no, we don't say that because it's the same cloud. Like we don't really count like that in reality. Like nobody does. But that's just what I'm saying about that.
And that's what I agree with your point of like, this is the classical counting method. This is the way that everybody counts. Most people actually don't count, but because it seems like he's using some form of absolute identity. No one really counts like that. That's not common. Especially because the things that we count, they have some type of vagueness to it, which is why like relative identity has been starting to explode, but it has some type of vagueness to it. So like when you're talking about like, say for instance, like mounds of sand or something like that, like in order for absolute to count by absolute identity, everything that's predicated of said thing, it has to be like exact in order to have some type of sameness relation to be counted. So pretty much everything has to be exactly the same, but nothing is going to be exactly the same, which is why, like, somebody like Peter Geach would argue that there's no such thing as like absolute identity, which is called like pure relative identity. He takes a pure relative identity view. You don't have to hold to that view, but he's asserting it as though this is just the counting method in which everybody has. You have counting by division as well. So, like, for example, under absolute identity, like if you were to define a bagel or something as like a round breaded object with a hole in the middle, obviously that could count as a donut. But uh, just for for time's sake, if you count that thing, if you cut that thing in half, it's no longer round. Like everything that's predicated of it is different. So you can either change your definition of bagel or say that you have two bagels under absolute identity.
Or say it's
Whatever.
not a bagel.
Yeah, say that it's no longer a bagel.
Because if you describe the bagel as one whole thing like this, that's like uncut, etc., then
Yeah.
it's no longer a
A
bagel.
bagel, exactly.
And you just run into like weird things.
Yeah. So, and that's the vagueness that like relative identity will allow you to count things, especially when you're counting by identity. It allows you to count things speaking the way in which normal human beings speak, because we're not going to identify every single like attribute of a thing in order to determine some type of sameness relation. So he's putting this forward that's just not true. Yeah. So when you say it's half a bagel, right? Like you're going to be counting by like division, because you're recognizing that it's still a bagel, but in order for you to do that, it'll have to have like the same predicate, like what you're identifying it as. So that wouldn't be like absolute identity.
And y is God, then x just is y.
Oh,
This is for all x and x. This is premise 1, by the way. We're going to give it in a syllogistic matter. Premise 1, for all x and y, if x is God and y is God, then x just is y. This is the formal regimentation of monotheism under classical counting method, the CCM.
All right, people are asking, so why is it not two bagels?
Because whatever you describe the thing as, with all of its like attributes and everything and identity, if anything about that changes, it's no longer that thing that you described it as.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it would be half a bagel, but
Yeah.
counting by identity doesn't really account for these things that are composed. So it's kind of dishonest to say it's the universal way which we count. Like to say that, you're saying that not a single person counts differently than that. I mean, come on, bro. So you never counted like parts, like you have half of something, you have a third or a fourth of something.
Yeah, in Bo Branch's paper on like what is it? We don't count by identity.
That's not Bo Branson, that's David Liebsman.
Yeah, my fault. He gives a couple paradoxes as to like why it's like we don't count like this.
And also, if you notice what he just said, he's about to start like equivocating on what he means by God. Like he did not describe anything about what it means to be God in that first premise that he gave.
What was the second premise?
We'll go through it.
Premise 2, if Jesus is the form of x and y, if x is God and y is God, then x just is y. This is the formal regimentation of monotheism under classical counting method, the CCM. Premise 2, if Jesus is God and the Father is God, then Jesus just is the Father. That follows from premise 1. Premise 3, Jesus is not identical to the Father, and that's obviously the Trinitarian claim. Premise 4, Jesus is God and the Father is God, which is also the Trinitarian claim. And then premise 5, or which is actually conclusion 1, therefore Jesus is identical to the Father. That is modus ponens, following from premise 2 and 4. Premise 6, therefore...
That's just like the basic argument. Like, it's automatically assuming absolute identity. And no Christian ever has just like said that, yeah, the Father's absolutely identical to the essence. The Son is absolutely identical to the essence, unless you're like a civilian. But that's not a Christian, so...
Yeah, it's that first premise we would reject. And even though he says that this has to do with the CCM, the classical counting method, this really has to do with your view on identity, because of that phrase is, when you say X is God and Y is God, right? That sameness relation. Well, if someone who's taking a quote unquote classical view of identity, then yes, this statement would follow. But since we don't hold to that view, we just reject this first premise.
Yeah. And like exactly what Jordan was saying too is like you could just be equivocating as to what you mean by God. And this is like the same thing that like Leibniz talks about. It's like when you say God in respect to like the Trinity, there's gonna pick out like two different definitions and two different meanings. So like he would have to define what he means by God in regards to those premises.
Jesus, or actually conclusion 2 here. Therefore, Jesus is identical to the Father, and Jesus is not identical to the Father. That's in conjunction with premise 3 and 5, leading to a contradiction. And then another conclusion is, therefore, it is not the case that both Jesus is God and the Father is God can be true under the CCM, which is the classical counting method, and that comes from premise 6 by reductio.
Yo, maybe
Conclusion-
explain the difference between absolute identity and relative identity, so people aren't confused as to what we're talking about.
You want me
Because I
to,
don't.
or you want
It
me
doesn't matter. Whoever wants to, like, it doesn't matter. We can rock paper scissors.
Abe, do you want to? Okay.
That
So
boy disappeared.
yeah. So the difference between
Wait, hold on.
Okay, all right.
What'd you ask me?
Do you want to explain the difference between absolute identity and relative identity?
Oh yeah. So absolute identity is just going to be the belief that things are only identical if and only if they share all the same predicates. So, I mean, some of the classic examples is you have like Superman and Clark Kent, right? Anything that you say of Superman is going to also be true of Clark Kent, and therefore these two would be identical. And anything that does not share the same predicate, they would not be identical. So that's absolute identity. Relative identity is going to say that these identity statements are going to be relative to a specific sortal. So instead of just saying Clark Kent is Superman, right? You would say something like Clark Kent is the same person as Superman, or Jordan is the same person as whatever you want to put there.
Yeah. So under absolute identity, you don't really have any modifiers into the things that's being identified. Whereas in relative identity, you're gonna have modifiers as to like what you're talking about. You're clarifying the thing that you're talking about. You're clarifying the thing that you're counting. So when we're talking about God, good question. Absolute identity, relative identity. So which one is used to describe God? There's different views on that. I think everyone up here uses relative
The thing
identity.
is, you could use like both. That's not like an issue. It's
Yeah.
just that if you use absolute, you have to clarify what you mean by the term God.
Yeah.
Well, we should distinguish also that under relative identity, there's typically two kinds, right? You have the impure version, which is going to be the belief that there are such things as absolute identity relations.
Mhm.
So some things in reality are absolutely identical if you believe in impure relative identity, versus if you believe in pure relative identity, or some people call it strong relative identity, right? They think that there is no such thing as an absolute identity relation. So there's nothing in reality that's absolutely identical with something else.
Yeah. So I think, does everybody up here use relative identity in reference to God?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Yeah.
It's the phrase relative identity is kind of a more modern term, but I think if you like when reading the fathers, and even like if you guys are Catholic, any Catholics watching, reading doctors like St. Thomas Aquinas, they affirm in essence what relative identity states, right?
Yeah.
That two things can be identical to a third thing and not be identical to each other.
Yeah.
Because of that sortal.
So in relative identity, you're saying that like the Father is like the same God as the Son, but they're not the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're
Or the
just
same being, the same divinity.
yeah, the
things
same
like that.
divinity. So you're modifying as to what they are identical to, and you know the thing that makes them distinct as well. Give me a non-God example of relative identity. You use relative identity like all the time.
But he's been asking for
Yeah, dude.
every single
Any identity
philosophical
statement.
term.
My fault, Jordan. You
Yeah,
kind of cut
you was
out.
cutting
No,
out.
I'm just saying he's literally asking for every single philosophical term where he's playing. It's going to take forever.
Yeah,
But this is kind of not that difficult of a request, right? Because all we're saying is that identity statements under relative identity statements is going to be relative to a specific sorrel.
mhm.
So anytime someone says that we have the same phone as each other, or we have the same car as each other,
Yeah.
or we have the same
Or like
amount of money,
Yeah, exactly.
all of these statements would be examples of relative identity.
Yeah, because you're saying that, like, say for instance, if me, Abe, and Jordan have the same phone, right? You're saying like we have the iPhone, for example, or iPhone 16, or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Oh yeah, we have the same phone relative to the brand, right? But obviously it's not like the phone is not absolutely identical. Even if we're saying like we all have iPhones, but one has a 15, 16, and 17, right? That's a relative identity type of thing where we're drawing a seamless relation to like a specific thing or a sortal, for example. So you're saying it's the same insofar as
Are you
it's the
going
same
to
brand. It's the same insofar as it's the same brand, but like obviously it's not going to be absolutely identical. So that's what you're saying. Like the Father, the Son, and the Spirit are the same insofar as they are the same God. They are identical insofar as they are the same God, but they are not the same person. So you have a distinction in personhood. So it's not, some people like to say that relative identity is like ad hoc, like somebody just came up with it one day in order to describe the Trinity, but that's how we talk. That's the normal way in which we talk. And as Abe said, like when you read the fathers, that's what they're saying. Yes, they're the same God, but they're distinct in person.
And this goes all the way back to even like Aristotle when talking about action and passion, right? Well, he says action is the same as motion, and motion is the same as passion, but action is not the same as passion. This is relative identity in use. And to answer Nai's question, if we use it in discussing God's oneness, I mean, it's only going to be with respect to identity relations. So, I mean,
yeah.
You're gonna have to plug like Juju's video, bro.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be.
That is a good point. What's his thing again?
I have zero idea.
Yeah, so you could watch this video, or this dude, he talks a lot about relative identity. It's like his favorite thing to talk about. But he has really good videos on it, response videos as well, clearing up misconceptions in regards to relative identity. But these videos are good to watch. So you can come here, you can watch it. I'm just suggesting the video because, you know, some people they take in information better in video, and he tries to explain it as well as he can. And then you could watch like follow-up videos that he has and stuff like that. If you guys want something to read, no, I'm not even gonna give you guys all of that. Ain't nobody finna go read. So yeah, you guys could go ahead and watch this video and we could get back to it.
Therefore, to reject premise one, that is to deny either monotheism.
Oh, so obviously this argument just is like, it's not gonna dispute.
Yeah, this argument is completely trash. I mean, he in what's this premise 6 we're on already?
Yeah.
So he says in premise 6, to deny premise 1 is to reject monotheism. I mean, now we're just introducing random ass terms into the premises. that were not contained. Like if you guys don't know, like for an argument to be valid, one premise has to follow the next, right? You just start introducing random ass terms like monotheism in the sixth premise, then obviously your argument's not going to be valid.
Yeah.
This is not even a bro. This is just terrible.
Or the CCM method itself, which is just a metalogical conclusion, and this would mean that he is denying the classical counting method, which is the universal way in which we count, or he accepts the contradiction, meaning denying monotheism. So now, first let's give an example, right? Counting apples or counting oranges or anything, right? Suppose either
we'll
we
get to
have
the
the apple
second
and not the. Let's move on to the next argument. This argument is the multiple essences argument. If we say that for all x and y, if x and y share the same essence, then x and y share the same set of essential properties. That is an analytic truth. If the Father and the Son share the same essence, then the Father and the Son share the same exact set of essential properties. That follows from premise 1. If the Father is essentially paternal and the Son is not essentially paternal, then the Father has the essential property of paternity and the Son does not have the essential property of paternity. That's an.
This is damn near Adam's argument. Or Scooby-Doo's argument.
Yeah.
Wake up.
I don't even know if my talk is gonna hear me because it's gonna be chopped.
No, it sounds good now.
Nah, but like essential is in the word. It's about the essence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
properties of the essence. No one, at least no one who knows anything relevant to this discussion is going to say paternity is something that's of the essence.
Yeah. So here.
If the Father is essentially paternal and the Son is not essentially paternal, then the Father has the essential property of paternity and the Son does not have the essential property of paternity. That's an analytic truth. The Father is essentially paternal and the Son is not essentially paternal. Conclusion 1, therefore the Father has the essential property of paternity and the Son does not have the essential property of paternity. The inference rule for that is modus ponens coming from 3 and 4. Premise 3 and 4. If the Father has the essential property of paternity and the Son does not have the essential property of paternity.
I want to write it out.
It's so pointless, bro. It's just pointless,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I know.
Like the terms aren't even correct. Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he is repeating himself. But do you guys want to go ahead and refute that real quick?
he's not even talking about the same thing. If we're saying essential properties or something that's like fatherhood, that's pointing out the person. It's just wrong. Like they're mixing up and a lot of times people mix up essential properties and like necessary properties. Like it's irrelevant though, but like you can't say that's an essential property and then say, oh yeah, but it belongs to this person. Like you're already making category mistakes.
Abe.
Yeah, I mean the fatherhood and sonship relations, paternity and filiation, they're not essential. To say they're essential is to say they're of the essence. And obviously we affirm that anything that's of the essence is going to be common between the three persons, such as knowledge, power, etc. And these are not common to the three persons, therefore they're not of the essence. Which I think would be the third premise he gave out.
Yeah, I think so.
So we just deny it. And like there is clear his argument contains premises that we are clearly going to reject. And the issue is that he's not going to give any sort of defense or proof of these premises.
All right, my fault. I had to see if I could pull up a transcript so I could copy and paste when I want to.
Paternity, then it is not the case that the Father and the Son share the same set of essential properties. That is also an analytic truth. And for those who are wondering, an analytic truth is a truth that is true by definition. Conclusion 2, therefore, it is not the case that the Father and the Son share the same set of essential properties. That is modus ponens from premise 5 and 6. Conclusion 3, therefore, it is not the case that the Father and the Son share the same essence, and that is modus tollens coming from premise 2 and 7, and that the conclusion essentially is detrimental and it's a reductio ad absurdum because it is essentially saying that the Father and the Son, they have different essences, therefore they are not the same God. So let's give a simple example to everyone, right? Let's say John and Barley. They share a common human nature, but John has some properties that are essential to his being that are not essential to Barley's being. Hence, John and Barley have two distinct sets of essential properties, henceforth two beings.
Oh shit.
In
Can you
simple
pause it
terms,
here?
same essence.
Yeah, my fault.
So he's actually right in giving this example, right? Like this would obviously make John and Barley two humans. But again, the issue is that the properties he put forth as being uncommon are not essential.
Doesn't he try and argue later that they're not two they're not two humans?
Who?
And us.
I think Q-Top tries to argue that we're not two humans because we have different essential properties. I think that's what he was doing.
That's kind of weird. Right now,
Yeah. Jordan, just check the Wi-Fi, Jordan.
He gonna leave. Don't tell him nothing, bro. Don't tell him nothing. He gonna leave.
You're cutting out, bad.
See, he gonna shut his whole computer down. He gonna leave, bro. Chill. Dang, it ain't even getting no better. Now he gone, man.
Damn.
They say he fading in and out of existence. Yeah, so I hope Jordan comes back. But yeah, this argument is worse than the first, like way worse than the first. He equivocates on essential properties as well. But yeah, in this example, obviously, Abe, you could continue saying what you were saying.
Yeah, I basically already said. So if you want me to repeat myself, or?
Nah, but like what Jordan was saying in regards to, there's a difference between essential properties and necessary. Like it's necessary that like the father is the father, but this isn't like absolute property of the essence, right? So it's not that the essence is paternity or paternal. So this isn't a property that would be necessary for the son to have. It would be necessary for the son to have the hypostatic property affiliation, or right. But there's not an absolute property of the essence. So that wouldn't. This is a really really bad objection. Like truthfully.
Yeah, when we're talking about properties of the essence, like you said, we're also mentioning those things which are absolute, not relative.
Yeah.
And paternity and filiation, all these are relative.
Yeah. So that means like the things that are absolute are the things that like are, when we're talking about what God is, right? Like all powerful, all knowing, or whatever. These are like absolute properties. They like pertain to all three persons. Obviously, they're of the essence. Relative properties, or like hypostatic properties, you might hear that term on TikTok. But obviously they're not absolute properties. So they don't pertain to the whole essence, and they wouldn't be essential properties. So paternity would be a relative property. Okay, he's still not back. Dang. He must have shut down his computer, unfortunately. All right.
Simply means the same essential properties, because we define essence as a set of essential properties. The Father and the Son, they share the same essence, meaning they share the same essential properties. The Father is essentially paternal. The Son is not, therefore, they do not share the same set of essential.
Yeah, you see what he's doing there? Just pay attention to this if you guys ever find yourself in a conversation like with a Muslim who might try to use this argument again. When you say like the Father's essentially paternal, you're just saying that like, oh, like the Father's a father, one, and two, like when you're saying essentially, like when he uses essentially at first, he's talking about the essence or absolute properties, right? And then when he goes to the Father, he's talking about a relative property in regards to paternity. So these things would not apply to the essence. Therefore, like it wouldn't be a necessary thing for the son to have paternity.
Can you hear me?
Oh, dang, you came back out of nowhere. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna have to add you back to the thing. Hold on one sec. Let me add you back. Yeah, one sec, bro. I'm live. You good? All right. I'm gonna call you back. Let me finish this up. All right.
Can they hear me?
Yeah, I think everybody could hear you. Let me
Nah,
add
but
you
what I
back.
was saying was Anas is saying that they're two humans. But then later he's gonna argue that nah, it's one human. When he's talking to the Q about whether he believes that Jesus has the same humanity as us, whether it's one human nature.
I didn't see that. So I mean,
Properties. So now I'm gonna actually sneak in one more argument, and I think this is the most hard-hitting one or detrimental one. The
why would you wait to when you have a minute and 30 seconds left on the
Nah, that
board?
just doesn't make sense, bro.
Yeah,
She just waits until like the
unity
it's my
argument,
best argument. I'm
essentially
gonna use it last.
yeah, that's dumb.
the argument from transitivity. It essentially goes as it follows like this. First, we need to put the overview as the Trinity is a true predicate of the only true God, which is just defined as existential uniqueness. It is existentially unique insofar as it being three persons, one God, same essence, etc. Premise one: if there exists exactly one x, such that x is God and x is triune, then for any y, if y is God, y is triune. Premise two: there exists exactly one x, such that x is God and x is triune. Conclusion one: therefore, for any y, if y is God, then y is triune. Note exponents coming from premise one and two. Premises one and two.
Oh my god.
So when you say triune, you're talking about the persons. You're saying the persons are triune because tri means three and they're unified. Because properly speaking, when you're speaking of Trinity, you're speaking about the persons. Abe, were you gonna say something, Abe?
Abe wasn't even paying attention. Abe's on
Yeah.
rivals right now.
That boy gone. That's crazy.
Oh, bro, I'm talking. I can't hear me.
No, you know you on mute. You know God dang
No,
well
I
you're on
was
mute.
talking. Hold on. I was gonna say put up the quote on Discord.
Which one? The first one?
I got you. The third one. Or the last one, my fault. The very last one.
Alright.
So, by the way, obviously we're gonna reject that second premise. And I would appreciate it if you're gonna present a premise that's very clearly gonna be contested. You at least put some time into defending that premise. I mean, you do this 3 times in a row.
Alright.
St. Thomas speaks about this, right? So the objection he's replying to is saying that we can't say God is a Trinity because if each of the persons are God, we know that a single person is not a Trinity. So we can't say God is a Trinity. Here in this is, if you guys want to look it up yourselves, this is going to be in the Summa, Part 1, Question 39, Article 6. He says the divine essence is not only really the same as one person, but it is really the same as the three persons. Whence one person and two and three can be predicated of the essence, as if we were to say the essence is the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. And because the word God can of itself stand for the essence, as explained above, it is true to say the essence is three persons, so likewise it is true to say God is the three persons, right?
Yeah, you gave me the wrong quote.
So the blunder that Anas is making here is that he's assuming that the word God can only stand for a single person, right? When we use the word God often to signify the divine essence. And so if we're using God to signify the divine essence, then we can't say a God is a Trinity. And obviously, if we're using it to signify only a single person, then we're not going to be saying that this single person of the Trinity is a Trinity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, he's just switching around definitions for like God. Like you have to be specific about what you mean when you say God.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because you know how we often refer to the Father as God. Yeah, we don't believe that the Father is a Trinity. Because when we say God is a Trinity, we're talking about the divine essence. We're not talking about a single person. What's funny?
I could hear I could hear the stuff.
Premise 4. If Jesus is
Smooth?
God,
You said what?
Smooth?
Nah, Jordan.
then Jesus is triune. That follows from premise 3 if accepted. Premise 5, Jesus is not triune. Conclusion, therefore Jesus is not God. That is modus tollens, coming from premise 4 and 5. Let's give a simple example real quick and let's switch the variables. If there exists one x such that x is an orange and x is orange, the color, then for any y, if y is an orange, then the color of it is orange. There exists one orange or one x such that x is an orange and x is orange, meaning the color, to qualify. Therefore, for any y, if y is an orange, y is the color orange. Can we get the symmetry breaker for that? That is a question I have.
What kind of,
And
like,
I
you
don't know.
chose a worse example.
That
Like, who the hell is going to keep track of all the times he says orange and then try to guess if he's referring to the color of the fruit?
yeah.
Like,
That's absolutely all.
that is the end of my time, and Q-Top can move on to his rebuttal, and then after that I'll continue.
All right,
on
and then
with
we
my
can
rebuttal.
skip to the question and answer, right?
this is where it goes terrible. This is where I realized that this debate,
It's not gonna be edifying for a soul.
yeah.
Honestly though, to be fair, I don't know what questions Q-Top is supposed to ask this person. Like, I don't know. Like, what questions is he gonna ask Anas in 25 minutes? Like, maybe 10.
So, because he's on the defensive, I think if I was him, I would just like attack his premises in this Q&A and be like, "What's your defense of the first
Yeah.
premise in your first argument?"
Mhm.
Right. That's the direction I would have gone.
Yeah, I don't think it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to take this time just to ask some questions about the Trinity. This is just clarifying questions because obviously I'm not critiquing Tawheed. Do you think existence is divisible? Yes or no?
And by existence, you just mean like, like for example, such being that exists. Like that's just like I'm just wondering what you mean by existence.
No, I'm not meaning the being that exists.
I don't even think it's. Do we need to go through Q-Top's Q&A? Because I forgot that Anas just played like he knew what nothing meant the whole time.
Yeah, but
Just skip it.
we can definitely skip it. I would say like just with this question, is existence divisible? You got to clarify what you mean because obviously God's existence, at least according to our position, is not divisible.
Yeah. I think that's what he's trying to get at, though.
But that won't even be anything. Like I don't know what that has to do with the Trinity though.
Yeah. I don't. And this is something that I did appreciate, at least about like Anas and his presentation. And I said this before, is that like he at least came prepared. Like there are 3 bad arguments, but at least he brought 3 arguments. It seems like he wrote things out. It seems like he was reading his opening statement. Q-Top was up there freestyling. It's off the cuff. He's trying to figure it out as he goes. You could tell that he wasn't prepared for like a cross-examination. In regards to
he
like
had some idea of where he wanted to take the conversation, but
yeah, it seems like
no plan.
It seems like he's a lot more excited for their Tawheed debate if that happens. But it didn't seem like he was really here to actually engage in a debate regarding the Trinity.
Well, yeah, 25 minutes. Go ahead.
Distinction is used between what type of distinction is used between differentiating between the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit?
A relational distinction.
Sorry. So I'm asking you that relation. What is that called? What is, is that a conceptual distinction? Is this a real distinction? What is that?
Yeah, it's a real distinction.
Oh, so it's not a conceptual distinction, right?
It's formal.
Oh,
So it's a.
Oh my god.
You know the difference.
Okay.
yeah.
Pause. Pause.
So he changed. Wait, can you guys hear me or am I
Yeah,
shouting?
nah, we can hear you.
So the reason he mentions this is because on previous lives he has said it was a conceptual distinction, and people were like, "What the freak? Like that's effed up." But now he says it's. He said it was a real one, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, he asked what?
He asked the same question again. He said, "So
And
it's
then he
not
said
conceptual; it's a
He
formal."
said, "Okay, yeah, formal is."
What are we doing, bro?
And he might just be because he uses different definitions for everything.
Yeah.
A
But
formal
he's using
distinction-
scholastic language though, so it's
Yeah.
like
So it's like almost like that verse where Paul says, "Yeah, but if I speak in 1,000 tongues and nobody understands me, it's not edifying nobody."
Yeah.
Like him using terms that people know, but using a different definition is not helping anything. Because in
Yeah,
the last
because-
sense, the formal is it's not a real distinction. That's like it's going to be a type of conception.
yeah, it's not meant to be really distinct.
And this is why I was saying, like, if you didn't understand what was going on, bro, that's not your problem. That's not your fault.
Between a formal and a real distinction.
Yeah, a formal distinction would be dependent upon the actual substance, meaning that the actual essential properties are not divided. A conceptual distinction is simply in the mind. It would be dependent upon if you're like a divine conceptualist or a conceptualist, but typically it just denotes being in the human mind. And
So-
So if I speak fast enough with enough words, then you're not going to understand anything that I'm saying. That's the answer that Q-Top gave. I don't know where he came up with this definition.
Yeah,
Would
me
be,
neither,
between a formal and a real distinction.
yeah,
So it's a. You know the difference between a formal and a real distinction.
yeah,
Oh,
a formal
God.
distinction would be dependent upon the actual substance, meaning that the actual essential properties are not divided. A conceptual distinction is simply in the mind. It would be dependent upon if you're like a divine conceptualist or a conceptualist, but typically it just denotes being in the human mind. And
So-
real distinction just means some sort of distinction of existence.
So have you previously said that the persons are conceptual?
Oh, father.
A real distinction is a distinction between existence.
He gave like
No,
two
bro,
aspects.
When he described formal distinction, he just said it's just not divided. That's not a what what's
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
distinction?
saying. He's giving like one aspect of each distinction, and then as if it's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and
That doesn't even describe what it is.
but a
Yeah,
real
'cause
distinction
if
is a
you can have
distinction in existence. Does that
And
mean
mind
that
you,
the
he
persons are just really
equivocated.
distinct?
Yeah, mind you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure. So, mind you, he said real distinction and then formal as if they were the same thing, right? And then when he defines the terms, he defines them in opposite manners. He says a real distinction is different existences, and then he says the formal distinction is the same substance undivided. It should be two different things. This is why no one can understand him, bro.
Oh my god, bro! But this is why people run around just listening to whoever is speaking on.
But there's
TikTok.
no way they can repeat that though. There's no way. They're not going to be able to repeat that.
And to clarify, a formal distinction would be a distinction within like the term's formal content, or like a distinction in definition
And
would
how do
be
you,
what a formal distinction is.
yeah, actual
And not all-
distinction.
Yeah, that's how it's typically used, right? And not all formal distinctions are going to be real distinctions, right? So you can have a formal distinction that's also conceptual. You can have a formal distinction that's real as well.
But my thing is like, if he called it real, but he says a real distinction is a division in existence.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
says different existences.
That's what I was
but by
saying.
definition, he just said God can't be his existence can't be divided.
But the persons are really distinct. That's the issue, that they're really distinct at
Nothing
one
he
point in
just
the
said made sense.
conversation.
Yeah,
He's just contradicting himself.
exactly.
Actually
So
distinct.
hold on, let me help these people out. A real distinction, what it's actually going to be, it's just going to be a distinction before the consideration of the intellect. So it's a distinction that exists before anyone even thinks about it or contemplates upon it, and it's a distinction in reality. So if X and Y are really distinct, then X and Y are two things in reality, right? That's what a real distinction is. And that's how we describe the distinction between the persons. We don't describe them as different existences, because insofar as their being, their essay is concerned, they're one and the same.
All right, let's try to hurry up and get through this.
Yeah, when I said conceptually distinct, I just meant formally distinct. So they're conceptually distinct in the mind of God, not in the mind of man.
Yeah, so nobody uses the word that way. But anyways, let's continue. So, do you know?
Now he's using like some form of distinction. Well, that's kind of like matching up a little bit with a virtual distinction, meaning that something is so plentiful in the subject that when we perceive it, we kind of like distinguish between it, but it's not actually distinct in the thing itself. If it's conceptual in the mind of God, that's definitely Sabellianism. And then we just see them as like three different persons only in our mind, but it's not actually true that they are three different persons. So like that's just all jacked up. So you can't say any of that stuff. That's just garbage. Even though he doesn't believe that, because he believes they're actually different persons, what he said does not match up with his beliefs. So he would, if he followed what he said, he would have to be a Sabellian, like a modalist. It doesn't work.
But I need you to consider, Jordan, that it doesn't matter what he says, it matters about his intent. So if you trying to attack somebody based off of what they say and not what they was probably thinking about when they say that, you understand that that's wrong, right? You can't do that.
We're being sarcastic, by the way. You guys know that. If you want to be able to come up on social media and talk about these issues, you got to know how to articulate yourself properly.
Abe don't play
confusion.
that. I'll tell you that right now. Abe don't play about that. That's the only reason he got out of bed for this. Abe went live and God knows how long. He said, "A Christian speaking heresy? Just sign me up."
I mean, you make yourself look like a fool, and then you make the religion you're a part of look foolish. And how many people are going to turn away from the religion because of your words, which are not even true?
Or just say dumb stuff.
Yeah. But no, like people take the things that they hear and say it, and then they be like, Christianity doesn't make any sense. Boom. And then they say whatever you say.
If this was all I was listening to, Christianity wouldn't make any sense to me either, bro.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
It's like what the classical counting method actually is. Can you like flesh out the two axioms that are within it?
There is no it depends. So when you say classical counting method, there is no like objective classical counting method.
No, there is. It's actually an axiom that which we use to count everyday things. So when I mention a CCM, what are the two axioms that which are actually?
Yeah, where does he get this from?
It's just a lie, bro. Like that's just not true. Like we can continue. Like that's just blatantly false.
No, but where does he get this from? Like
it's just asserting it, bro. Like
reading it from somewhere. There's no way. Unless like
it down.
Unless chat was like, bro, this is like everybody count like this, so then he just took it and ran with it. He got to be getting it from somewhere.
We used.
Yeah, there is no classical counting method. So I'm.
Yeah, so he's not going to answer the question, and that's fine.
Necessarily.
No,
yeah,
I'm
answering. I don't know why I'm being interrupted.
You're not answering.
I don't know why I'm being interrupted. I didn't interrupt you.
One sec, guys. And one sec, Enes, when you ask
You
the
gotta
question,
fast forward, 'cause that
he
joint's
has
only 4
40
minutes. I'm
seconds to
looking at
respond,
that.
bro.
I'm looking at that.
Like,
clock.
is his name Anas or Anus?
Anas.
That's not how Orthodox Muslims say it. How does he say it?
I don't know.
When you ask the question, Enes, one sec, guys. And one sec, Enes, when you ask the question,
Ennis?
he has
Enes.
40 seconds to
Enes.
respond, bro. Okay?
Sure, no problem.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, so look, like when you say classical counting method, like there is no like objective counting method. Now, if you just like are referring to the counting by identity, well, I can just say, well, look, we don't count by identity, we count by division. So you have to show why it's like objectively true that counting by identity would like always apply. So yeah, that's my answer.
Good. So I didn't really hear an answer of which axioms, and that's fine. So if you applied identity to God, how many gods would you count if we counted by identity?
That's such a ridiculously vague question.
It doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense. Bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
If you
'Cause again, it's
apply
gonna depend
identity,
on what kind of identity.
Yeah.
We're talking absolute identity. We're talking relative identity. Also, it's also kind of foolish for Q-Top to say we count by division. Like this makes it seem like that's the only way we count, which is not true.
I think he
would
was just
say
putting.
when
I
it
think he
comes
was just
to-
putting forth out another counting method, and like just to contest the classical counting method, how everybody counts.
Yeah, because I would just say we count by identity when it comes to counting gods, but we're using relative identity.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, there's one God.
You count one God.
So if we counted by identity, we would count one God?
Yeah.
What does it mean to count by identity, sir?
Yeah, well, you didn't actually specify what you meant by identity. In the Christian context, we count by impure relative identity, which is a type of identity, which is just to say that there's one essence, but within that one essence, there's distinctions of relation. So we count by relative identity or impure relative identity, which is a type of identity.
This was
bro.
not a bad response from Q-Top.
Yeah, this is yeah.
This was his more decent. This was a decent response.
Yeah, but
His
The only
explanation of the theorem was kind of bad, but
yeah, it was just a little weird and wonky.
yeah, so the proper explanation would have just been that these relations, they're the same being, they're the same God, they're just distinct persons.
And impure relative identity is not like a counting method. That's the only.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right?
That's the only thing that's like weird. Like you don't say we count by impure relative. That's not even. That's just not proper.
Yeah, because to say we count by identity, it just means that if X and Y are not identical, then they're two things, right? But again, under relative identity, that's going to be respect some sort of. So if they're not the same person, then they're two persons. If they're not the same God, then they're two gods.
W relative identity. God damn, bro, this lion going through it. Jesus Christ, man.
Can you guys hear me? We all good?
We can hear you.
Okay, good.
Is that to me?
So,
Y'all sending
Q-Top,
me lions?
does the CCM use classical identity?
Yeah.
Okay, good. If we applied classical identity to God, how many gods would we have?
It's the same
It's
question.
impossible. Your question is malformed.
You see, this is the junk I was talking about, bro. I think he thinks that you count differently just because God is uncreated and you have things that are created. So he's just saying it's malformed. That doesn't even make sense. But you can continue it.
It's like saying if the laws of logic were false. So I'm disputing the
That is
nature
not
of the
like
question.
that.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what?
However, hold on. I will say, now I'm trying to be like the neutral person. I will say I like how Q-Top handled himself in the Q&A over Anas. Anas just played stupid, right? Like he had absolutely no idea what was going on.
So you'd rather somebody play stupid you'd rather somebody not play stupid, but rather just say a whole bunch of bullcrap.
No. I'm not saying that I like the content, or the content that was coming out of Q-Top's mouth. I'm saying that a debate, the purpose of a debate is supposed to be edifying for the crowd, for the audience who doesn't know as much. So
you
when
rather
you're
them give bad
purposefully
responses than no responses.
no. I'm saying that the way in which you should conduct yourself is that in a Q&A, you should actually attempt to answer the question. Now, in a debate, you shouldn't get up and debate anybody if you don't know what you're talking about. But in a debate, you should try to answer the questions to defend your position or to defend your position. I do think that that's very important. And it's edifying for the people. Now, make sure that the things you're saying is correct, obviously, but Abe is not Catholic. I don't know where you guys got that from.
Part of the question, do you
Yes, I am.
disagree with?
Yeah, because God is metaphysically primary, existence is indivisible. Therefore, you can't actually divide existence like you would divide particulars. So we count the created order differently than the creator.
Oh, so you're saying that we're essentially special pleading and we're counting different due to the very fact that God is distinct from creation. Okay, good. So my question is we cannot apply classical identity to God. Can you quantify God?
By quantification, if you just mean like discernibility of personal relation.
What did
yes.
that have to do with anything?
Okay, good.
I have
So
no
we
idea.
can create a discernibility. Good. So when you say
Yeah, I know,
when we discern these persons, right? What makes them one God?
What makes them one God is that they share one divine essence. The essence is actually what God is. So all the essential properties that make God God are fully possessed by three distinct relations.
Can you please cash out for us what classical identity is?
Yeah, classical
He
identity
asked
would
this
just be
question
some sort of representation or explication of
kept saying the
Leibniz's
same
law, which
junk,
says
bro.
that X is identical to Y. Everything true of X is true of Y. So when we count, if there's no indiscernibility, then that would just mean like one thing under classical identity.
Good. Do you accept classical identity?
I think it's categorically dependent. Yes, I do accept it.
I think when he's saying, do you accept classical identity? He's asking, like, do you accept Leibniz law?
Yeah.
That's what he's meaning. When he's asking,
There's
do you
no
accept-
issue. I don't see an issue.
Yeah, there's just different responses depending on, like, if you're gonna
Yeah.
take Leibniz law and his view of like absolute identity versus relative identity. There's going to be different responses.
Especially if he's like an impure RI theorist, and then he's
Yeah.
gonna think that these relations do exist sometimes. So
Yeah. So
Okay. Why can we not use classical identity to count how many gods there are?
Yes, I'll say it again, which is what I said in my opener. We can't use it because like existence is indivisible. So we apply this to particulars. We don't apply this to that which is the instantiation of particulars, which is God. So because God is existence, you can think about God being reality.
did you say God is the instantiation of particulars?
hey man,
No, I think he means that like I heard he said it wrong, but I think he just means that he's the one that instantiates particulars.
yeah, I think he fixed it after.
Yeah, but first, but the thing about existence has nothing to do with how you count that. It just does nothing. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
We can't divide reality because that means there would be different distinct realities. There's only one objective reality. There's only one objective God, and that God is identical to existence. And there's three relational distinctions that fully possess existence.
Okay, good. Thank you for that answer. So would you say that when you say that God is identical? Wait, you said
but out of breath after that answer. You just up there talking.
that God is an instantiation of a particular. What does that mean?
Yeah, I never said God was an instantiation of our particulars.
You did. You did.
I said that God instantiates all particulars. I said
Did he
Said
say
that, sir. So would you?
since that one of God being reality, we can't divide
man, we
reality.
don't
That
have to
we
go
apply
back
this
to
to
that.
particulars.
Yeah,
He says
I guess
it-
he just misspoke.
Would you
I
say
guess the
that when
issue
you say that
with half
God
of
is
these people,
identical?
They don't say what they
You said
mean,
that God.
but what they say is like completely ridiculous.
there's a little echo?
Yeah, everybody misspeaks. It's just irrelevant. You said what?
Everybody misspeaks, but you can clearly see to the degree that it occurs with certain individuals.
Some is just worse. Horrendously misspoken.
No, I don't think you're the echo. Him. Oh, they're saying that Jordan's echo is horrendous.
I'm echoing, bro.
I said, you're not echoing.
They don't want me on here, bro. It's cool.
Nah, bro, chill, man.
It's cool, bro. I might got somewhere to be anyways.
Nah, you ain't got no. Yeah. Sure, let me see.
Is it on YouTube that I'm echoing?
Yeah, can we refrain from using such words though?
Oh. Is it on white people that I'm echoing?
What?
All right, well, we'll see if it continues. Little echo is a lie. The echo is horrendous. My days, bro. I mean, yeah,
Elijah don't want me to succeed, bro. It's cool.
we'll see. All right, hold on. Let me yeah, bro. Your echo cancellation on too. I don't know what's going on with you. There's no way that his echo really like that, bro. Somebody gonna have to go see.
God is an instantiation of a particular. What does that mean?
Yeah, I never said God was an instantiation of our particulars.
You did. You did.
I said that God instantiates all particulars.
So God instantiates all particulars. That's not what you said. You said that God instantiates from particulars. So can you tell us? Wait, 1 second, Q-Top. So what does it mean when you say that God instantiates particulars?
Yeah, I mean that God created all things, and God possesses all distinct ideas, which is the universal of particulars. And so, because God created all things, the created order would just be just particulars, because it all would be expressed by the universal, which is God.
Good. Would you agree that the essence of God, it being one, creates the fact that there is one God?
What?
Say that again.
Creates the fact, like, this is, come on, guys. You guys
What are we
cannot
talking?
articulate yourselves.
Yeah.
Good. Would you
Creates
agree
the
that
fact.
the essence of God, it being one, creates the fact that there is one God?
Would you agree that the essence of God being one creates the fact that there is one God?
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, I get it.
I would agree.
I don't
Say
think
that
it's
again?
just me echoing.
It's me too.
I think it's Abe too.
Yeah, I'm good. Please understand what I'm telling you. Track, right? So when I say,
not that crazy.
is the essence of God, it being identified as one and exactly one essence, is that what generates us the idea that there is exactly one God? Answer, please.
I don't know what any of that means. I'm gonna take
Okay,
it.
so again,
I'm
he's not
gonna
understanding
take.
the concept.
I'm still speaking, dude. I'm trying to answer your question. If all you mean by that is like God being one essence, is that why we count one God? Yeah, we count one God because there is one Godhood that is shared by three persons.
Okay, good. So the reason why there is one God is due to the fact that there's exactly one essence that which all three persons share. Good. And do you define essence as a set of essential properties?
Yes, essence is essential properties. Yes.
Okay, good.
I
Would
wouldn't
you
define
agree
it
that?
way.
You say
For
you
one, it
wouldn't.
makes no, because now it seems like God's essence is composed of essential properties, like a set, like multiple essential properties.
Mhm.
No, that's not how we're defining essence
You
here.
gonna try to
What
convince us?
definition would you use?
You gonna try to?
So essence refers to the being, the whatness.
Would you say it's the principle by which?
Yeah.
One act.
Well, yeah. So nature refers to the principle of action, and essence refers to the being. I forgot, I didn't send Elijah this screenshot, but in Article 39 of the first part, not article, question 39, St. Thomas talks about this, how we say things are of one nature. Like, for example, anything that gives off heat is of one nature because they share in a common action, which is the giving off of heat. Whereas things which share a single essence would share a single existence, a single being. And so that's why he says it's more proper to say that the persons are of one essence than to say that they are of one nature. Now, it's still true that they're of one nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But because we also use this language of things that are multiplied, like humans and things like that, it's more proper to say that they are of one essence.
Yeah, because essence includes like the substance and existence of a thing. So with God, of course, it's the same thing. It's identical. So it would be just a being of God. There's like a lot of people don't really know the distinctions in that though.
Might have to clip that.
The only reason that they are one God is due to the fact that they all share the same essence.
Yes.
Oh, good. So here comes a concession. So, do me and you share the
gosh.
same essence?
Here we go.
No, we do not.
Okay, good. What are the essential properties that me and you have that are distinct?
Yeah, the essential properties we have that are distinct is our participation in existence. So we participate in existence in a different way, right? So I exist in a different.
Pause it. So this is like the only thing that I can kind of like understand what Q is saying. Because I get what he's saying. He's trying to say that, yeah, we have like different bodies, etc. Like, you know, we have different actions, like we do different things, right? Of course, he doesn't think that like there's different types of like humanity and that Jesus just wasn't a human because he's not the same thing that we were. Like, he doesn't think that, but he never specifies that, which is the issue.
Yeah.
What you gonna say? I was gonna pull up.
I was going to say that he responded correctly to that first question, saying that we're not the same essence. But then his explanation of that was kind of, it's not clear, right? Saying that we participate in existence in different ways. No one's going to know what that means unless you explain yourself. I mean, there's way simpler ways of explaining this issue. Elijah, can you pull up the second screenshot? All right. Can TikTok see this?
TikTok can see this.
Can you zoom in on it? Is it possible to zoom in?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on that highlighted part, right? So this is the exact example that Anas gives. This then is the reason why we say Socrates, Plato, and Cicero are three men, whereas we do not say the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost are three gods, but one God. For as much as in the three supposita, which supposita, for those who don't know, it just refers to subsistence, essentially the same thing as person, right? Or hypostasis. For as in the three supposita, for as much as in the three supposita of human nature, there are three humanities, whereas in the three divine persons, there is but one divine essence, right? So though we have the same kind of nature, our concrete natures are still individuated. Like Jordan said, we have different bodies and different souls, which make us up.
Yeah, and Gregory the theologian says the same thing. Like, the way we can see that it's the same is going to be like, it's going to be like a kind of conceptual thing where we can see that, oh yeah, we have the same quote unquote essential properties, we're humans, but we have those different instantiations of the universal of humanity.
You have a quote that you want to pull up, or you good?
I sent it earlier. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was in Oration 31, if I'm not mistaken. And it was in the chat one time. What did he say, though?
Well, while you pull that up, could you go to that last one I sent you?
Well, I gotta pull. Well, yeah, just find the exact place. For me.
Oh, not the last one, the second to last one. Right. So this is in the third part of the Summa. So it's not written. I'm not sure if this one is actually written by St. Thomas himself, but it's written by his followers. And here they're talking about whether or not, if it were the case, like hypothetically, if three human persons did have one single concrete human nature, right? So one particular human nature, would they be three humans or one human? And here the response is that in the hypothesis that three persons assume one human nature, it would be true to say that the three persons were one man because of the one human nature. For just that it is now true to say that the three persons are one God on account of the one divine nature, so it would be true to say that they are one man on account of the one human nature.
And Elijah, it's paragraph 15 for Gregory, St. Gregory the theologian. It's just basically the same thing that it's going to be an X and a V.
Yeah. You're not to do that, right? All right. So,
So what if they? So what if that they will say perhaps, do not the Greeks also believe in one Godhead, as their more advanced philosophers declare, and with us humanity is one, namely the entire race, but yet they have many gods, not one, just as there are many men. But in this case, the common nature has a unity which is only conceivable in thought, and the individuals are parted from one another very far indeed, both by time and dispositions and by power. So we see that there can be like different individuations between our bodies, as like Abe was saying, that St. Thomas said, or St. Thomas's followers.
So on the part of analysis is really just like an equivocation between when we say humans have a common nature, or there's one human nature that we all share in, versus when we say there's one divine nature. Because when we're referring to God, we're saying that there's numerically one nature. Whereas when we're referring to humans, we're saying that although that there's these numerically distinct natures, due to these commonalities, they all partake of a singular kind. It's like if me and Jordan had the same phone and I'm like, yo, we have the same phone. We're not saying that we have numerically the same phone. We have the same kind of phone.
But if we did share the same exact phone, then there would be a sense in which we could say, yeah, we have the same exact phone.
Yeah. And that's the sense we use of the persons of the Trinity.
Way than
You guys
so
did
we both
fantastic,
possess
man.
the human nature, but the way that we exist is distinct because our essence is not identical to our existence, right? And so it is the case that we, as being humans, right, we are particulars of the humanity universal, right? And that humanity universal is divisible. Existence is not divisible because God is distinct, because what God is, he's identical to. So God is identical to existence. We are not identical to existence. So we participate in existence in two distinct ways.
Thanks. So, again, I'm going to ask you this. Do you understand what an essential property even is?
Yeah, an essential property would just mean that like something that makes an essence what it is. So if an essence does not have an essential property, then the thing actually wouldn't exist.
Okay, good. Q-Top, humans have two essential properties. What are they?
Oh my God.
Hey, give me your two essential properties, gang.
Animality and rationality.
Amen.
Whatever you define them as.
No, what are they, sir? What are they?
You say essential properties in humans? Yeah, I mean, we have the human nature.
Sorry, that's the essence, right? I'm asking you the two properties that make up the humanity. What are these two properties? I'm not done asking my question. What are these two properties in which every human has to make them a human? What are they, sir?
Rationality and animality.
Yeah. Rationality being constituted by your soul, and animality being constituted by your body.
And all the organs in it, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if by properties you just mean like what we possess. Like, I mean, we possess rationality. We're agents. Like, I don't really know how this is relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant, and you'll see why. So, which properties? It's the last time I'm asking this. Which essential properties do me and you have that make us a human necessary?
Hey, Jordan, can you do that in court? Like, if somebody like calls an objection and be like relevance, can you just be like it's relevant and you'll see why?
I mean, a judge has to determine.
Okay.
Like they have to get a reason, and the judge determines.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the ability to reason. We're made in the image of God, and we have agency.
Sorry, I didn't hear properties. I just heard like some sentences. So we have rationality and we have animality. Would you agree that it's necessary for a human to be a human? They must have rationality and animality. Yes or no?
I literally just said reason, so yes, and then I said act, which is agency. So I literally just said exactly what you just said. So how?
Oh yeah,
how
so animality is agency now,
so
right?
How did I like misrepresent that?
You're asking a question. You can ask a question. Sorry. Thank you. So yeah, you didn't mention animality, and that's okay. Sometimes you don't know things. That's fine. So my question is do me and you both have animality and rationality?
Yes.
Okay, good. And we understand that if X shares the same essential properties as Y, then X and Y share the same essence. Do you agree with that biconditional, sir?
I think it's categorically dependent.
Yo.
So, no.
Would you agree with it in this category?
No.
Why?
Can you pause it here?
Yeah, because
So here he's conflating between the nature of man and the nature of this or that particular man, right? Because obviously, although they agree that they both have rationality and animality, do you think that Anas would agree that he has the same rationality as Q-Top?
Q-Top.
So that, I mean, according to Anas, Q-Top doesn't know things that he knows. So this would seem to suggest that they have really distinct rational intellects.
And this
Right.
man left, so he can't press play.
And this is what his argument hinges on.
He's gonna keep asking the same thing, I guarantee you.
we have different participations in existence. So the universal is divisible. So we are distinct. We are not the same person. We are distinct. And the reason we are distinct and the reason that we're not the exact same essence is because we have essential categories and properties that are distinct. We do not have the same essential properties.
Okay, good. So do you understand the difference between an accident and an essential property?
Yes, an accident is something that is not necessary. An essential property would be necessary. So in God, there is no accidents because God's existence is necessary, and His essence is necessary because God's essence is identical to His existence. So accidents are contingent, meaning that they could have been different, and something being essential means that it's necessary. It's an essential property of an essence.
So Q-Top, do me and you differ?
Does anybody want to say anything there?
I don't.
On accidents but share the same exact two essential properties?
When you say do we differ on accidents, and by accidents you just mean the contingent properties that we have, and by essential properties you just mean rationality and agency. Yes,
Animality.
Animality is a type of. I don't look. What do you mean when you say animality? What is that?
Can you answer the question?
What is that?
I'm about to say
Can you answer the question?
Accident.
I need clarification on what you mean.
Look.
I need clarification. I don't understand you.
All right, I'm gonna pause.
Just
He wants clarification. So
Yeah. But just as we speed forward, just for clarification, accident isn't like something that's like necessarily contingent, and essential property is not like something that's necessary. Or it just depends as to what you mean by those terms. Because obviously we have essential properties, but we're not necessary.
Yeah.
So when an accident is going to be something that like is like outside of the subject. So like my blackness would be an accident. An essential property is like without those things, it stops being what it is.
Well,
so
it's
like
not outside the subject. Like it exists in the substance.
Yeah,
but the difference
not
between an accident and a substance is that a substance has its own existence, whereas an accident only exists in something else.
So it has to exist in a substance.
Yeah. Good clarification. I apologize for that.
Yeah, bro. Wrap it up, bro. It's chopped.
They're gonna do a review on the debate review now.
Amen.
I'm gonna start the time.
Refers to agency that has no relevancy to what we're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna grant you that animality is agency, although that's not what it actually is. So now my question is do us differing on accidents distinguish us from the same essence of humanity?
Yeah, so humanity is a universal.
Right, you
so
can speak
humanity
that.
can be shared by many participants.
We already discussed that.
Yeah, so that's not my.
Okay. Um,
Share,
where-
meaning that the universal of humanity is.
When you say act of participation, what is that? Does that pick out?
Yeah, so your participation as being categorized as something that's contingent would fit the accident category.
Oh, good. So what you're saying is that accidents are what differentiate us from our essences, quote unquote. So we have different essences due to the very fact that we have accidents that which differentiate us. And you claimed and said that accidents are not the only thing that which differentiate us.
Did he say
So you've just
differentiate?
contradicted yourself. So my question.
Hold on. Did he say differentiate us from our essence?
I think
Yes, he said that.
What the
Which
frick
I don't
is
know
that?
what that's supposed to
What the
mean.
frick does that mean? Maybe that was just a misspeak, like a misspeak. I don't know, because that don't even make sense.
Because obviously you can, like, if you gain an accident, if Jordan gains an accident, he
I don't
still
become
has
a
the same
different essence.
essence.
Question is do we have different essential properties from each other?
Yeah, so I want to clarify something
Yeah.
here. So when I said that existence is an accident, I just mean that our existence is not necessary. And so we can make an essential distinction between us because our essence is not identical to our existence. Because existence is indivisible and everything in the creation is divisible, meaning it's a particular, meaning that it's a relation to a universal, right? That wouldn't actually be applicable. So can you actually tell me exactly what the blunder there was? Because I literally just
You're asking a question.
I just clarified. I just clarified. Yeah, it's a clarifying question.
No, asking what blunder is not a clarifier.
It's a
That's not a
clarifying
clarifier. No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is a
not.
clarifier.
You just be calling anything a clarifier.
It is
Hold
a
on,
clarifier.
wait. Pause time.
Yeah,
You
just
guys,
speak for it.
you gotta ask a question. You gotta answer the question.
Question. Particular. People said that
Or,
there is same participation of existence.
sorry, is that an essential property?
Yeah, it is.
According to who?
According to me. According to logic.
According to me? Sorry, sir. When you
According
say
to
act of
me.
participation,
tight.
that's going to be external to the essential properties that we've already established as being the two, animality and rationality, right? So are you still upholding that standard that we both share the same essential properties insofar as us having animality and rationality? Because according to you, you're contradicting yourself now. So please answer my question. Do me and you share more than two essential properties?
Yeah, I see you're getting very emotionally flustered and you wanted to pivot from the last point here. So I already like made the clear distinction here. So when you say essential properties and you say reason and you say animality, which you didn't actually want to like cash out, you just like, it was very trivial. All you meant there was that these things are essential in the who-ness, and it means that distinct. In our who-ness or
I'm talking about specifically the essence, the
Essential
human nature.
wholeness.
To be a human, how many essential properties must you possess to be a human?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and like clarify this again, right? I just answered this, right? So rationality, agency or animality, and there has to be some way in which you exist or participate in the universal, which is humanity.
Can you repeat the third
I
one?
mean,
Oh my goodness gracious.
Can you repeat the third one?
I'll say it again.
It's irrelevant.
To be a participant of your in a
Third one that you relative to
he's saying to be a human, there has to be some way you
good,
exist.
and that for all
As a
X
human.
X possesses
Yeah.
rationality and animality, then X exists.
no, it depends. That question is categorically dependent.
Bro, none of this stuff matters.
Something doesn't exist, although it possesses rationality and animality. Is that coherent?
It's contingent. Yes, that is coherent. Yes.
So it's coherent to say you have a non-existent thing that possesses rationality and animality.
Again, he misspeaks
I
here
said
too.
that if a human being exists, they possess rationality and animality.
And yes, that's redundant and unnecessary. My question is, if you possess animality and rationality, do you necessarily exist if you possess these
Bro,
two?
that's not matter.
You have one and two, which is rationality and animality, then it follows to be the case that you exist necessarily.
Wait,
You have to say
Well,
the
no,
question.
Guys, please unmute them. So
Yeah, please skip this part.
Bait-
You just start talking about each
Yeah,
other.
Q-tip. That wasn't my question, right? So my question specifically was,
Hey,
if you me and you
Don't-
share
I've made this clarification many times here. So answering your question for like the 6th time, which is getting really kind of boring here.
Or is like participating in existence itself, is this going to be something that is essential, like an essential property of humanity?
No.
Yeah, so
No.
all particulars participate in existence differently. So it would definitely apply.
Yeah, like for example, like you riding a bike and I'm walking. That's us participating in existence differently.
No, that's not what I mean when I say participation in existence. So let me clarify. Maybe this is where the blunder is going on. So when I say participating in existence, what I mean is that because our essence is not identical to our existence, the way that we exist, the location in which we exist, these are all things which are contextualized, what we call the principle of individuation, which is why all particulars are essentially distinct.
I think you meant individuation, not individuation, but that's fine. So that our
participation in existence, yes.
So what exactly differentiates us when it comes to the act of participation?
Yeah, what differentiates us is because our essence is not identical to our existence, our spatial temporal location.
You guys want to answer that question? What differentiates humans? I guess we already
Yeah,
answered
so
We just repeated it.
that. Yeah, we already answered that. But they've been talking about it for like 18 minutes now.
So, especially among humans, there's going to be multiple things that differentiates us. So that can include accidents. So things that have nothing to do with our essence. So things like how Elijah is black and I'm not.
I knew it was gonna be that.
These kinds of properties differentiate us. Also, when it comes to our essential properties, they're also differentiated because my body is not his body, and his soul is not my soul. And we know this because there's things about his body that are not true of my body. Like the fact that his body is a lot stronger than my body. Pause.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the fact that we're not comprised of the same matter, right? So I'm comprised of different atoms.
They said Abe's body is my body.
This is my body.
These things make us essentially distinct. Also, the fact that we are participating in existence differently. Again, I'll clarify what I mean by that because I think this is the crux of the debate.
Like you literally stated, you said that me and you, we are essentially distinct because of the very fact that we don't have the same essence. So again, what is the relevance of saying that me and you have different, that me and you specifically are distinct insofar as our essence is not being identical to existence?
Yeah, so I'm answering your question, but I think you think answering your question is dependent upon whether you think I answered your question. Answering your question is dependent upon that indivisible.
All right, bro. That's the debate, bro. Like, it was literally.
No, we gotta listen to the closings, bro.
The closings?
The closings go hard. By the way, I love how he presented. Usually, the opening statement is gonna be what the debate is like focused around. Those 3 syllogisms were never brought up once and during the cross exam.
That's what I was
by both sides.
That's what I was saying. Listen to Q&A. Q&A is where he blundered.
The Q&A was kind of wicked, I can't lie.
Oh, play it. Is it wicked? Oh yeah, I love wickedness. I mean, pause. I like goodness and virtue.
What's the I should have had it.
Is not identical to itself, therefore we count a different. The Bible really has nothing to do with it, but it's final answer.
You guys only say,
it's up to them.
As you know,
it really has nothing to do with it, but it's final answer.
You guys the only reason because you guys mentioned it. That's why.
It's fine.
So,
I'm fine with that.
You can ask whatever, Albie.
Yeah, go ahead, Albie. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I want to ask is if Apex can pull up in the KJV, because the KJV gets the Hebrew correct. In Genesis chapter 5,
I didn't watch this.
verse
Hold on.
1
I
and 2.
never watched this part. Oh, yeah. Something new.
Because you brought up humans, right? As far as counting, even though we know that God is unlike anything in creation because
Bro,
his,
you really can't put this in 1.5?
immaterial substance cannot be compared to
Oh my
anything in creation.
days.
That's your position
Hey,
as well. But nonetheless, though,
it's
here's a
just me
finite
talking.
model since you brought up humanity. In Genesis chapter 5, verse 1 and 2, it says that in the day
Wait, pause,
that
pause, pause,
God
pause,
created.
pause, pause. Why did Albie just go from saying God is unlike anything in creation, he cannot be compared to anything in creation, but here's a finite model, regardless.
Man, chill, man.
Hey, bro, we gotta do better with these questions, bro. Come on.
The male
I don't
and
understand.
female,
It,
okay, and named.
I
He's
don't
just gonna bring
understand.
up the
Like,
part about male and female being he made them and called them name Adam.
yeah, I don't understand. Like, they didn't talk about the Bible at all. I don't know
Them
why
in
you
the day
asked this
he
question.
created them, named them Adam. So my question is this: Adam is a singular name. How can Adam be used of
God.
two distinct persons? Because both male and female are called Adam in this context. So if the male and female are distinct, and we know they're distinct, how can they share the one singular name?
Okay. I'm gonna respond, but I'm sorry, it is disanalogous. Unfortunately, it is. When it uses the word Adam in Genesis, that's not really gonna be referring to a name, Albi. I mean, you should know this, right? So when they're both made Adam, I'm pretty sure the context suggests that they're both human, right? I think that's what the context suggests. Yeah, they're both male and female, but they're both Adam, insofar as them both being human. Cute up. Go ahead, bro.
That's Albie's point, though. Like, Ali's point is that you have like two different persons that are the same nature, so they're called the same thing. So with the three persons, Father, Son, and Spirit, being the one nature, or insofar as they have the same nature, they are one God. Um, that was the whole purpose of Albie asking that question. So he just like he kind of just says like,
Albie question, I guess, man.
I mean, that was Albie's question, was pretty much like, yo, like if you have male and female being called the one humanity, pretty much, like why do you think it's a problem with three persons being called one God? And then Anna says Adam there is talking about a nature, not a specific person. So they're, if male and female are called Adam, um, insofar as they have the same nature. And it's like, yeah, that's what Albie was trying to get at. Um, I guess.
Q-Top,
Yeah,
you get to comment on that as well if you choose to. If you don't want to, you can discuss it.
Yeah, I think it's very relevant. Like Albie said, there is definitely a creator-creature distinction, which I tried to highlight in our dialogue today. That creator-creature distinction can be cashed out in the sense that
does
yes,
that have
there
to
are
do
two
with
It has
individuals
nothing to
that
do
are
with
both being called Adam
anything, bro.
in this context. So they would technically be sharing that universal. So, but they're also like essentially distinct. So like the reason why Islamic Apex is laughing is because he's just been coping this entire time.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's bring up, what's his name? Muslim Lighthouse next, Darren, if he's there.
Got you. Muslim Lighthouse. Oh, you're a mod as well. Let me see. Is Muslim Lighthouse down there, Umar? Hold on, let me see. Oh, there you go. Got it.
All right, Omar, just ask your question, articulate it, and then drop. And if you need a clarifier beforehand, you also get a clarifier.
Yeah. So I mean, I already know he holds the impure relative identity. I don't think he knows what it is, but so look, so there would be a sortal God and sortal person. Now, if I said that Vishnu and Shiva were under specific sortal G, and they were individuals under that sortal G, would Vishnu and Shiva be one God?
Yeah, so if by sortal G, the G is identical to existence, meaning that it's actually one being or one entity or one substance, then yes, there would be of one substance. But however,
Can you drop Omar, please?
You can't do that, bro.
What type of
So
question
I
is
just want to
that?
clarify. I can't drop or.
What type of answer is that?
I don't know, but
This is the same argument Anas gave me when he said, under relative identity, all humans would be one human. Right?
yeah, that's not true.
He said the same thing, but now he's just doing it for pagan deities. Except, obviously, we don't think that the pagan deities or humans have one numerically a singular nature.
Yeah, but I might have been hearing Umar's question wrong, but if he's saying that given the same conditions of the Trinity, would we count Shiva and Vishnu as one God? given that they're the same God, then
No.
is that
He
what
didn't
he was
say given the
asking?
same.
Because that's
No,
what
he
it's.
didn't say
Let me see.
given the same conditions of the Trinity. Now, if he did say given the same
I think
conditions
that's
of
what
the
he meant.
Trinity,
That's why I
I
said,
think,
what type of question is that?
yeah,
Because if that's not even the case, like you just using those names, you could just replace any name with Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. And it's still
yeah.
going to give you the same answer, regardless of what name you put.
Because I think that's what he's saying. He's saying like, given like if they're the same in this sortal G, and G is gonna indicate the divinity.
I said that Vishnu and Shiva were under specific sortal G, and they were individuals under that sortal G. Would Vishnu and Shiva be one God?
If you just
Yeah, so
say G equals
okay,
God, the freak, like they would
Yeah,
just be the same
yeah,
G.
okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
So
That's
if
why
they
I
are
said
the
what the.
same, yeah,
Yeah.
if they are the same G, then yes.
Yeah.
And then he's equating that to like, oh yeah, he thinks that Vishnu and this other Jit are the same God. Like, no, that's not even what that means.
Yeah. he
Because to
just
say,
asked a bad question.
well, like if, like, for example, if they are the same substance, then they are one God. But then we just wouldn't grant that
That
they are
Vishnu
the
and
same
Shiva are the, yeah,
substance.
exactly. But if you're saying that they are, would they be this? Then yeah.
Or you could still say that they are the same substance. That doesn't mean that they're different persons. They can still be the same person.
That's true too.
Like it doesn't prove anything.
Yeah. He said it was just a rhetoric tactic. Yeah.
Like,
They
sort
can
of
be the same substance, but a completely different, the same person
Yeah.
as well.
Also, we have in the phrase, like the usage of the word same, right? You have to distinguish between whether you're just referring to like a generic sameness or like a numeric sameness. Like if like me and Jordan have the same kind of phone, like it's the same phone.
Mm-hmm.
identical to existence,
Right.
meaning that's actually one being or one entity or one substance, then yes, they would be of one substance. But however, Vishnu,
Can you drop Ahmad, please?
Yeah, well, you can't do that, bro.
So I just want to clarify. I can't
crazy,
drop
bro.
or bring anybody up. So
Well, you know, you should be. I modded you.
I don't have it yet. It doesn't show up.
Oh, I modded you in the beginning, but I'll make sure. Hold on, let me give you full mod, bro.
All right. Yeah, because I could just bring up people like that.
I see. I didn't check the
okay, I just got like blatantly.
All right, you're good. You're good to go.
That was really strange. Love to finish. These like individual theology is don't have three distinct essences, right? So in uninformed these distinctions, we don't.
Oh, dang, you got a long answer.
I mean, I don't got much to say, bro, but I think that's kind of crazy. So, under the sortal G, meaning God, if Vishnu and Shiva are under that, are they the same God or is it a different God? He said it's the same God. That's just shit. That's just polytheism. But just bring up the next one.
That's not.
All right.
That's not.
You talk. Who do you want me to bring?
That doesn't follow, bro. This is basic logic, bro. Just be saying stuff, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was just a rhetorical device, bro. Like if we use pagan deities and get them to say that they're one God, it's like, bro.
And by him asking that, he clearly doesn't know what relative identity is.
Yeah.
Have Yakovos.
I try to. Well, let me do it. Let me do that for the Christian side because I don't think he knows who most of these people are.
Okay.
I tried to get Johnson. I just accepted his request, but he's not coming up on the panel, so I don't know where he's at.
Atachi
we got
said
Becky
this
as well.
next question
Yes,
gonna be
Becky's
funny.
here.
Yes, sir. First of all, keep out doing an amazing job demonstrating, how you demonstrated very
All
well.
right, it's just
I'm
Glade.
not gonna say negative, but this is my question. So early on, Apex stated that existence is a qualifier in your argument of law of transience. Probably said it wrong. He said existence is a qualifier and that particulars and universals do not differ, right? So this is my question. If existence is only a qualifier, then what makes something real rather than just an ideal? That's my question.
Right. Thank you so much.
Forgive me.
Apex, go ahead and answer, and then keep up.
What the freak was the question?
You said nothing.
No idea, man.
If
If
existence is a
this is only
qualifier,
qualifier, what makes something real?
a qualifier
She's
for what?
She's talking about when Anas was responding to Q-Top, and he was saying that he doesn't think existence is a predicate; he thinks it's like a qualifier.
What does
That
that mean?
refers to like, so that refers to, pretty sure it refers to like propositional logic, and how existence isn't treated as a predicate.
Well,
But
they have
her
like
question, Her question is like completely unrelated to that.
Cam
What
said
type of-
he said that existence is a quantifier, and she heard
Quantifier, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
My fault.
Oh. Because I'm like, what the frick is a qualifier? Or what?
Okay.
Apex, go ahead and answer, and then keep
Yeah,
up answer.
You said nothing right in what you said. Everything you said is wrong. I never said existence is a qualifier. I said existence is a quantifier. And you just said that I said there's no difference between a particular and a universal. I do not agree with that. Never did I say that. You guys can't try. Why do you come up and embarrass the shit out of yourself? So there is a difference. I've explained the difference, right? One essentially is the type, close to what a type is, and the other one's just the instantiation of it, right? It's not a type, but it's close, right? What makes something really exist versus not? I don't even know. I didn't even understand the last question. Like, really ideal, the question didn't even make sense. So when you come up, make sure you know what I believe, and make sure your questions are cohesive and coherent. Q-Top, go ahead, bro. Existence is a qualifier, right?
But before Q-Top, go, Darren, you want to turn the comments back on? You're muted, bro. Yo, we can't hear you, bro. You're speaking.
We can't hear you, Deron, brother. You're I think you're muted.
Yeah,
brother.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, we can turn the comments back on, but we got to be respectful in the comments, you guys.
All right.
I don't want to get flagged again, so please keep it respectful as possible.
All right, Q-Top, go. You just turned it off again. But yeah, Q-Top, go ahead, man.
Hey, turn it back on, you guys.
So, to Islamic Apex's point, I'm definitely being intellectually genuine in this dialogue. That's not exactly what he said, but Banku, I'll answer the question that you asked. I do understand what you're saying. When we talk about universals in particular, as a conversation itself, not saying that in that one's not what he was.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me who's requesting.
Yeah, I'm checking. There's Mergani, Ibn Mustafa, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Danny, Dawa, Itachi.
Bring up Itachi for now.
There's also Metaphysics Mike too, if you want to bring him up.
Bring up Itachi first.
All right. Bring up Itachi.
Wait. Did they bring Danny up?
Start talking about St. Thomas. I think so.
Danny don't like Q-Top at all.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, can you hear me?
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, so Q-Top, essentially you asserted that this is just a qualifier.
Me either. I was shocked. I heard a Tachi voice in a minute.
You had asserted that because we don't share in the same existence, that we essentially have different essences, right, as humans.
Is that just like a yes or no?
It's a qualifier.
It's just a qualifier. Tachi, is that your question or you want to qualify?
No, that's a qualifier, yeah.
She just wants to qualify.
I'm making sure that I'm representing.
Wait, is this like a series of questions or one?
Yeah,
it's one question. I just want to make sure.
We agreed on one qualifier if needed and a question. So
got it.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so if your qualifier is we are essentially distinct because we participate in existence differently, that is correct.
Okay, beautiful. So regarding classical metaphysics, Aquinas, he defined humanity in regards to the quidditas shared by all humans, which is the what isness. So my question to you is going to be, if humanity is the shared universal among particular humans, wouldn't denying a shared essence entail that each human is both their own universal and their own particular?
No, it wouldn't entail that because existence would be indivisible, but the humanity being the universal is divisible. So when we talk about particulars, all we're saying is that a particular is a specific instance of a universal. So that actually wouldn't apply. No.
All right.
You want to answer, Abe?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Aquinas affirms that there is like the common nature of man that we all possess, right? Which is rational animal, right? We all possess rationality and animality. But again, this is multiplied in particulars, which is why in the quote we read earlier, it speaks of how although Socrates, Plato, and Cicero, they have one human nature, between the three, there are three humanities. There's three humanities, right? Yeah, this one human nature is just the what's in common between them. Yeah. But what's in common between them is not like there's some numerical commonality. It's just like a conceptual commonality, like the form of a tree. Like we can conceptualize of the form of a tree that all trees have in common. And we can conceptualize likewise the form of a human. But we know that, again, in an actually existing human, this is multiplied.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, there's. I mean, that was a
We
solid.
already talked about that, John.
Yeah.
And then,
Comment, you want to say something on that? Wait,
I definitely want to answer that.
Faith, thank you so much for the gift.
Itachi, thank you for the great question. Yeah, all you guys heard was sorcery right there. You know, humans are not identical to existence. That has nothing, zero to do with the question, right? So, Itachi, that's a good question. Aquinas does say that the universal of humanity is shared by the particulars, which are the humans, and that makes it the case that they all share the same essence, right? Because they are all humans, they all share the same essence due to the fact, because you said Kuritas, right? That is what Aquinas is saying. Q-Top is just gibberating black magic. But Godson, go ahead and ask your question, bro.
Yo, good debate, guys. I just came up here quickly. First and foremost, I have a qualifier, I guess.
Can you pause it?
Nas.
Yeah, so Anas there, he misquoted Aquinas. He says that Aquinas says that humans have all the same essence, when he doesn't say that. In fact,
yeah.
If you guys read Article 2 of Question 39 in the first part, he says, only those things that can be said to be of one essence, which have one being, right? So if you don't have the same being as someone else, you're not the same essence as him. And then he applies this to the Trinity, obviously.
When you defined person, I think it was that which can be referred to. Is that correct?
No, it's that which that can be addressed to, but there's other definitions of person, such as like anything that which has a rational substance, or anything that has a rational mind.
Oh, okay. That's pretty much all I was coming up to ask. Because I think I heard referred to. I didn't know you said like that which could.
Hey, you want to replace the question?
You want to replace the question?
Yeah, you're gonna ask.
No. That's what I want to ask.
All right, we'll get someone else then.
We got to get an actual question, guys.
All right. If I think you want to bring Yakovos.
Yeah, let's see.
If you want to bring Yakovos, you can bring him.
Who's Yakovos? Let me see.
I mean, a lot of Christians want him in the comments. I'm just seeing it.
Oh, let's do Coptic Prince.
Coptic Prince? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Let me see. I don't know. It's jumping around, you guys.
Who's Coptic Prince? Is that Egan?
He's
Drop
Coptic.
down. Drop down.
No.
Yeah, hey. Let's see what we got, man. Yeah, I don't know. He just dropped. So let's do. Oh, there you go.
Oh my God.
God bless you, Tops. I need a qualifier from Anas. Anas, is love in its very nature requires a relationship for it to be demonstrated?
Oh my God.
Okay, so here's the question. If God is truly love, according to the Christian paradigm, his nature and his eternal nature, before creation, who was he loving? Was his love only potential until he created something? And who did he demonstrate his love to? Go ahead. And don't laugh. Go ahead.
Wallahi, it's hard to control myself. Wallahi, that's crazy, bro. Your question being, who did God love before creation? If you're talking about the Christian perspective, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they're like a circle. They love each other. Okay, cool. That's your belief, right? And Islam is completely different. I hope you're not talking about Islam, because you can ask that question for the next debate, right? So who does Allah love before creation? Yeah, that can come next debate. Okay, that's not this debate. All right. So I just answered you in respect to the Trinity. So, I knew it was gonna be a little too much.
Okay, I'll.
You said what, Jordan?
Somebody's next debate.
Answer that. Yeah. So this and this itself being.
Is that okay? I'm not gonna lie. You did say something about the Christian God earlier.
Thank you.
So I'm just being fair, but I know we shouldn't insult at all. Not NS, not Q-Top. To be fair, NS, you did insult earlier. So all right. So now he insulted. You insulted.
That's it. Both of y'all.
Yeah, it's better that we don't insult. All right. Let's bring up a Muslim now, or a Unitarian, I guess. There is.
Wait, is Danny requesting?
Yeah, Danny's requesting. I'll bring him up.
Okay, bring up Danny.
Yeah, so what I want to just
Danny
say
make
this
me
as a
so
disclaimer.
mad, bro. I
This
swear.
individual said that
Danny make me so mad.
Let's go.
I can't.
I doxed
Bruh,
him,
Danny-
but then yet he wants to have a conversation with me. So he said he would not have a So Danny, just before you ask the question, or do you actually want to have a conversation? Wait.
Nas, that there's one God.
That means you're gonna have to repeat that.
Anyways, so the qualifier is is it that there's one God despite there being three persons because they're homoousia, and that there's not one human because the human persons are not
This nigga gonna bring up
homoousia? Is that your
Chalcedon,
position?
huh?
I don't know what any of that means. You're gonna have to.
He's bringing up Chalcedon.
Yeah, he gonna bring
Is
up
there?
Chalcedon.
You said to Anas that there's one God because they're the three, even though there's three persons, in virtue of them being the same essence, homoousia, right?
Yeah, there's three relational distinctions, one essence, yeah.
All right, okay. So how is it that you're contradicting Chalcedon when Chalcedon says, quote, our Lord Jesus Christ, the same perfect in Godhead and also perfect in manhood, truly God and truly man, of a rational soul and body, co-essential with the Father according to God, and co-essential, the Greek word being homoousia, with us according to the manhood, right? So if Jesus is homoousia with humans, right, how are we not homoousia with each other?
Surely they didn't qualify any of that or explain any of that.
Yeah, they didn't explain what they meant by that. The reason why I know is because Danny came up and he asked the same question to me. I think that was the first crash out where he kind of cussed me out. It's because of this conversation here.
This is a very low tier blunder of what the hypostatic union is. We believe that.
Explain that.
You said what?
No, bro, that's no. It's like you have to explain that, bro.
Yeah.
You're asking the same freaking question, bro.
Yeah.
You said we don't need to explain it? Let me put this dog down.
I hope not.
Dang, you finna unalive it?
Nah, chill.
You said put it down.
Let me set him down.
I can't see what's going on. I ain't really looking. I know you don't like it, but dang.
Nah, I like it now. He cool. You don't pause. I was finna say something wild.
The person of Christ possesses two natures. Those natures are distinct but inseparable. So the person of Christ possesses a divine nature and a human nature. Because the Father begats the Son, substance begets substance. And so God, being as possessed by the relational distinction of the Son, would just simply be the case that he took on a human nature. So the person of Christ, the divine nature doesn't change, but the divine nature takes on a human nature, right? So we don't say that that Jesus is Father Son.
Wait, what did he say? Wait, did he just say the divine nature takes on the human nature?
Yeah,
you're lying. He did not say that. He did not say
the
that.
divine nature takes on a human nature.
My days. Where's Dom? I need a soundboard. I need a soundboard, bro. No way. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness.
It was in the body.
The divine nature takes on a human nature. Amen.
Right? So we don't say that like that Jesus.
Oh, for people who don't know, that is not true. What he said is incorrect. That is not correct. I'm saying amen, and we like cheering him on.
Surely he means that the person who has the divine nature took on flesh.
Yeah, amen.
That's what he really meant. That's what he really meant. He just he misspoke. He misspoke.
Yeah.
He's not gonna double down. For sure he's not gonna.
There's no way he doubled. But apparently nobody caught him saying that.
It's like two persons, right? We say that, look, this eternal divine person called the Son took on a human nature,
that's what
and those
meant.
natures are inseparable but distinct in the person. This is really low tier.
All right.
And thank you for actually having. And by the way,
that wasn't Danny's question at all, though. But
and thank you for actually talking to me, dude. Because you've been saying you don't want to talk to me online, but then you.
And to answer Danny's question. And Chalcedon, they qualify what they mean when they say that like Jesus is the same like homoousion with us. They qualify what they mean, and then versus being homoousion with the Father and the Spirit.
Want to come up and ask a question? But apparently,
All right, Q.
You said what?
Ain't nobody saying nothing.
All right, Adam, go for it.
I got you.
All right. He didn't answer the question. Surprise, right? So remember his question, guys. In Chalcedon, when it says that Jesus' human nature is co-essential with us, how are we not homoousia? Never was that question answered. Ever. He addressed something else. It's Harry Potter metaphysics. He addressed that. He didn't actually address what was asked, right? So in Chalcedon, it is written that us humans, we are co-essential with Jesus Christ's human nature. With that being said, and the word there used is homoousia, as Danny pointed out, which you didn't answer, which I didn't think you would because you got baked. So yes, according to Chalcedon, which is contradicting Q-Talk, he's never read it before, we would be one essence exactly
no
due to the fact that Chalcedon says that we are co-essential with Jesus' human nature. Simple as that. No Harry Potter. I spoke English there, guys. You guys understand? Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. 3 or 1, bro. If you want to clarify or go ahead and then ask your question.
Hallelujah. Holy homies. Holy five. Deals.
Nah,
so I want to my clarifying quick.
Anas, I didn't see you in the request, but if I bring you up, it's gonna shift everything over, which is why they on how they on. So I'm not bringing nobody up. Thankfully, my fiance just showed me that you was in the request. I didn't see it, but it's gonna shift everything over if I bring you up. No, it is.
I just want to know from the Islamic paradigm, generally speaking, are the 99 attributes that are listed as Allah's names, are these attributes necessary or essential to his being? That's my clarifying question for me.
Is that a qualifier or a question, bro?
That's a qualifier. I'm asking. I want to know that.
Bro, are we talking about Tawheed, bro?
No. I just asked very simple.
So what are you doing?
No. Hey, listen.
No. This is the same as him asking what you
Guys, why are you getting so frantic? Calm down.
I'm the mod.
Hey, hold on, guys.
What the heck?
I'll take care of it.
Why you getting so
one.
frantic?
You whatever you want. If it's not on topic,
Anas, are y'all still doing the Tawheed
Yeah,
debate?
they doing it. Yeah, they doing it. I don't know when he said, but
I think Apex wants to address it. So, Enes, do you want to address it?
I'll address it. I'll address it.
Cool. All right, cool.
We're
So
saying
it's
we don't
not on
believe
topic,
God.
but he'll address it. 3-1. You ask your clarifier. Now ask your question. Go ahead.
And tomorrow, Q-Top debating Cora. Who's Cora? Y'all know who Cora is?
I don't know what that is.
Jordan. If Jordan don't know, I for sure don't know. Jordan been on here longer than me. Another Muslim? Q-Top shouldn't be debating anybody right now. I don't think this debate. I'll leave my opinions.
Answer real quick. So the answer to the qualifier is that we don't even believe that God necessarily has 99 properties. We believe he has one. He hasn't revealed it to us, right? Do we believe that all properties to God are essential or necessary, which means the same thing, by the way, in this context? The answer is no. Not all of God's properties are essential, right? The only ones that are essential are the ones that God has had eternally. For example, the Quran. It's not eternal. God chose to speak the Quran. Therefore, the Quran is going to be an accident. It's not essential. God did not need to speak the Quran. All right? So the answer is yes, all the eternal ones are necessary. And no, the temporal, uncreated ones are accidents and not essential.
I genuinely do think that in Islam, you guys just need to figure out how to articulate, like, God.
They know how to articulate, but it's a composite deity, bro.
Is Itachi still here?
Yeah, I think Itachi's still here.
She think God is composed.
She would have never
Substance and accidents.
Yeah, Itachi wouldn't have let this
I don't know if
slide.
she on their team with this one.
Yeah, I don't think Itachi would have been saying that God is composed. She wasn't. Unless she changed up. Itachi, you believe God composed now?
She changed her positions.
Y'all cutting out. You can hear me, though. You can hear me, Itachi. You believe that God composed now? Oh, she said no. All right.
Amen.
Yeah, no, in Islam, y'all gotta figure out how to Jordan cutting out. But you gonna load back in. Don't trip, bro. It's coming right back.
Question, bro. Now, what's your question?
Wow, holy homies, holy fight. I really don't need to ask the next one. I don't think.
Wait, can I say something?
He isn't composed, but you can't show a contradiction if he was. Like, I don't know what you mean by like show a contradiction. I've heard you say that God's composed. I got clips of you. I got clips of you saying that God's composed. Unless you change from last week to this week, if you change your stance, then cool. But you for sure believe that God is composed. No, you affirmed it. You didn't just grant it. You affirmed it and you was defending it. Anas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, bro, like you affirmed that. All right, bro. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I can't.
No. We chill. Yeah, no, we're just out here lying. All right, bro. All right, here I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna keep playing, and we'll see if we lying, bro.
I got you. Well,
he has to ask his question first.
I thought that was a qualifier. Okay.
Yeah, 3-1. Do you have a question or?
Hey, I'm gonna ask my. Wow, that was okay. No problem. Can God necessarily exist in a potential necessity or potential state without being considered contingent? That's my
Kick this guy
question.
down. Kick this guy down. Kick this guy down.
No,
I'm
no,
not
we
even answer
can't,
that.
we can't.
No, bro. Just kick this guy down. Yo, hey,
Wait.
Kick him down. Kick him
Long as you understand.
By the way, I didn't kick anyone down.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Listen. I'm gonna be clear. Look. I'm gonna respond. Right. Wallahi, uqsam billah. No one in this life, okay, including this guy, understood what the hell he just asked. He might pretend he knows, but no one genuinely understood what he asked. But I'm gonna answer it anyway. I think he's trying to ask, can God be in potentiality? According to my belief, no, because I hold that God is creating eternally, meaning that I believe in ex materia, that there has not been a point where God has not been creating. He's constantly creating and destroying. Q-Top, go ahead and act like you understood his question, which I know you will, and start your Harry Potter metaphysics. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys. So a lot of this debate has been gaslighting. If you notice, I haven't gaslight my opponent. I try to be as respectful as possible. I actually did understand what he was saying. He was actually talking about Allah's attribute set, and that attribute set is either necessary by essentiality or it is necessary by relation, by a real distinction, right? So not all real distinctions are essential, but all essential distinctions are real. So all he's saying is that, look, if you claim that Allah is actually pure act, right, and there's no contingency in God, right, if you make that assertion, but you also claim that Allah's attributes are distinct from his essence, right, which means now Allah is composite, these things are actually essentially distinct in Allah, right, you're going to run into a problem of metaphysics because now you have a God that is contingent. You don't have a God that is pure act. You don't have a God that is necessary, because to be pure act means that your existence is identical to your essence. So I actually did understand what he was saying, and I really would appreciate if you stop gaslighting, dude, because I haven't done that to you one time in this discourse.
All right. So I just want to update. We have so far four questions asked on the Christian side, 3 questions asked so far on the Muslim side. This upcoming one will be the 4th one on the Muslim side. So let me just check. Let's see. We got.
Hey, Lynn, how many questions are we doing on each side?
So we're doing 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. We're doing 5. So Enes, there's I am Moses.
I think Tiger's.
Is there anything else that we need to see?
Can I pick some people?
I've never seen it.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, bro. If you see somebody, but next, we got one more.
Oh, I guess they brought up metaphysics.
So I got metaphysics. Mike, I got metaphysics.
Oh, they brought up metaphysics,
Mike. I gotta drop it back down. Hold on, Q.
All right.
One at a time.
I got Khair. You want Khair?
Well, wait. Just name everyone on the list.
Metaphysics, Mike. The people that I know personally. Khair.
I want golden apologetics to come up.
One at a time, my brother.
Okay, Orthodox. Listen.
Yeah.
Bring up Mike, and then bring up Khair as my last guest.
All right.
Yeah, for my 2 people, I want Tiger and I want what's his name?
All right. So
and I want golden apologetics.
All right. Metaphysics, Mike. Ask a qualifier if you need, and then ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay. So, hey, Q-Top. So it seems like your position depends upon this creator-creature distinction, so that you can reject this classical counting method. So my question, as a believer in the Bible, Romans 1:20 says, "For God's invisible attributes, even his eternal power and divine nature, are clearly seen from the creation of the world in the things that God has made." So my question is, if God's invisible attributes are clearly perceived in creations, like Romans says, then how can the creator-creature distinction be used to forbid true knowledge or description of God's nature by which you even count one God?
Oh yeah, pause it.
Okay, so there's
we gotta give a round of applause for that bull crap of a question. Nobody even knows what does that have to do with anything? The fact that you even asked that question, saying that he's depending on this creature God distinction, shows that you don't even know what the freak he's talking about. First of all, because that bull crap as to why we have to count different doesn't even make sense in the first place. So the fact that he brought that up again and tried to bring this up as something with that shows that he's extra like that. He just doesn't know what's going on. Bro, what does that even have to do with anything? And first of all, are you trying to prove that God isn't distinct from creation? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? So it's just dumb on multiple fronts. Like, it's just stupid. This is just idiotic.
Yeah, the verse is speaking of how we can learn about God from creation, not that we have to treat creation and God the same way.
I want to see how he answered this low key. He's gonna tell me something.
Object, like there's a loaded like proposition that you put in there. I don't reject classical identity. That's I think it's categorically dependent. I don't reject absolute identity. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, in Romans 1, when it says that the things that have been made have been clearly perceived, it says that that the divine attribute or the divine essence has made himself known very clearly, and the things that have been made to be without excuse. All that essentially means is that the creation itself is bearing witness to the glory of God. That the trees, the birds, the sky, the sun, the stars, all these things are a revelation of God. That does not mean that there's not a creator-creature distinction in how we actually would count these personal relations in the Trinity. That those are like two disanalogous things that you just brought up.
That was decent.
All right.
Not really much, but metaphysics, Mike, it's clear that he meant that you reject classical identity insofar as, applying that to God. That's specifically what he meant. He didn't mean that you categorically reject it and say, hey, this is wrong. But that's what he meant. But no, I don't.
What'd you say?
I'm not trying to correct. This is what I'm saying, bro. You're not saying that, bro.
Oh.
He's coming out a bunch.
Yeah, he said I'm not trying to correct what metaphysics Mike is saying. He did not say
Yeah, he's
that.
trying to steel man his argument. Like, bro, that's not how you're supposed to be doing the Q&A. Like, what?
I don't really care about the Bible.
All right. All right. So we got one more question on each. So Tiger will go. Then we got a Muslim. Then it's Raps. Tiger, if you need a clarifier, go ahead and then ask your question.
I don't know why you're overboarding. You're not that important for me to make fun of you. The question, sis, the question I have to ask you is, the clarifier is, would you say that Allah's will or personhood would be existent in the same way that human beings is?
We're talking about Tawheed now?
Why? Yeah, why?
No, we're still within.
So we're asking an off-topic question again.
Can you answer my question, please? I'm asking you a clarifying question. Could you answer it?
But it's a clarifier to an off-topic question.
Could you answer my question?
Oh my God, bro, can you give a different yes?
The question would be within Trinity. But
Okay, good. So answer clarifier.
Okay, you said, is Allah's... What was your question? Is Allah's will exist?
When we're talking about Allah's will or personhood, would you say it exists in the same way that human beings do?
That's gibberish. We don't even say what. Like, dude, please
you're
stop with
talking
it. I'm
about
about to answer you. I'm about to answer you.
Okay.
You don't even know what you're saying. I'm about to tell you exactly. Listen, does Allah's personhood exist like humans and His will? What the fuck does that even mean, bro?
So I'm going to clarify the question again.
It's like I don't. Yes, please, because that doesn't make any sense.
I can't lie. You need to stop being emotional. It's not that deep. I'm going to ask you again. When it comes to the attributes of Allah, meaning His will, or when we're applying anything to Allah, would this be similar to creation? Yes or no?
That's a better question. We don't say the properties of God exist like us. No.
Okay, so what would be the problem when we say that God's personhood is different to human beings' personhood? That's the question now. And I'll go down. Thank you.
Yeah, get her up out of here, bro. Yeah, so to address your question, yeah, we don't see a problem with you specifically in merely saying that God's personhood and human's personhood is different, even though that's just like retardation. I'm sorry. We don't say that God's personhood and human's personhood having a difference.
Remember, don't say anything that's going to get the
Bro, Darren, did you hear her question, bro?
I do. I thought it was a great question, actually.
Oh.
But don't, be careful of the words.
You guys have the same problem, man.
We got flagged once.
Okay.
I'm
almost done, bro. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
It's
I'm almost
bad
done.
when
Almost
you
done.
have to, like, translate questions, bro. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
It's just bad, bro. Like you shouldn't have to translate a question to make it right. Like it does. Yeah, this is horrendous. This is probably one of the worst debates.
Okay, I'm almost done. Personhood. Whatever
Is there
that means.
is there anybody else?
No, we don't have a problem
that,
with you saying that
that we
God's
need to
personhood
see?
is this, and it's different than human. We have a problem with you counting different when it comes to God. We're counting God versus counting everything around you. Just go ahead.
I want to start this off by saying character is very important. We're both claiming to believe in God, and I'm trying to represent myself the best that I can. I would never call someone out of their name like that. So yeah, I think the question that Tiger raised was very, very, very important, and it highlights actually what they believe in their Tawheed, that Allah is unlike the creation. And so, being that God is unlike the creation, if I say, well, look, we can't apply these categorical standards of the creation within these counting methods and apply that as in the same way to God, that just wouldn't follow. And so, because God is unlike the creation, the counting methods that we apply to the creation, we would not apply it in the same way to God. It does not mean we do not accept those counting methods, but it means that when that is actually applied to God, meaning one substance, one uncia, one in nature, we do not apply these same absolute identical categories, conflating essence and personal relation. So it's a very good question, considering that God is nothing like the creation.
Thank you so much. All right, we got last question. Let's make it quick. I gotta get going. From the Muslim side, let's see. You wanted Khair, right?
I say yeah, we could get going.
All right. Oh, I brought Yaakov by accident. All right. Got him up. All right. Khair, go ahead. Ask a clarifier if you need, and then ask a question.
Okay. Can I, just before I ask the question, is it possible to like set out prerequisites or no? Like to just to ask clarifying questions before asking the main question.
It's one clarifier, bro.
Oh, one clarifier. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So since given that you laughed at the idea that there might be some contingency in a necessary being, would you say that, for example, that an actus purus, right, when it comes to the Trinity, when you have the hypostases, the three hypostases, the second hypostasis, you would posit that within the second hypostasis, that meaning Jesus, right, you would say that Jesus is like caused by the Father. You would agree with that?
What does he mean by cause?
Oh, you asking me? Oh, what I thought. Okay, I zoned out. What you saying?
Do you agree that Jesus is caused by the Father?
I'm getting bored. But by cause, I don't know what causation mean in that context. If you just mean like eternally generated or like eternally begotten of, yeah. Causation is a temporal word.
Right. Like, would you say that the Father is the principle that generates?
I'm not a monarchical Trinitarian. I believe that they are united in one essence. I'm a Western Trinitarian.
Okay. When you say
now you're asking a series of clarifying questions.
No, it's just the same clarifying question. I just want to know what do you mean by the begotten, that the second hypostasis?
From the Father's essence.
Okay, so that coming forth.
This is the question now, eh?
This is the question.
Yeah, this is the question. Yeah. All right. So when you say bringing about or bringing forth, right, it would either have to fall into material cause, formal cause, or some form of final cause, some type of like remote or approximate cause, right? One of you'd have to deal with one of it, whether you like it or not. There's no other way to say coming about or coming forth. Now, given that, would if you're gonna submit or try to say one of those, I'll give this the material cause. You would have to state that it is actually something that which has a material that is substantiated from because it's actualized, right? Even if you were to say that it's actus purus or whatever. Now, if you were to say formal cause, right, you would fall. I don't know why you're shaking your head.
Where's the question? Like,
all right, God. First of all, God is not matter and form. He's not made up of matter and form, so you're not gonna have that. He's not the efficient cause of the other person. He doesn't bring that person into existence out of non-being. Like. It just doesn't fall into that. When we're talking about like the actions or when we're talking about comes forth, we're just talking about having an origin and a terminus. So the origin would be the Father, the terminus of the generation would be in the Son. So it has nothing to do with like an actual like movement or a change, and it has nothing to do with any Aristotelian causes.
I didn't even hear the question. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, I mean,
what is he saying? What is the dude saying?
He's basically saying it has to fall into one of the categories of cause that Aristotle talks about.
Oh.
I'm gonna ask a question. Yeah, I'm just stating my thing and then asking the question. Or you could just answer. No problem. I'll ask the question. So you would be, when you say coming forth, right, or coming about, you have to submit to either one of these things that I mentioned from before, right? So which one is it? Otherwise, you don't have any begotten Son.
Yeah, so that's a claim that will require justification. In the Christian context, when we say that the Son is begotten, all we mean is that the Son comes forth from the Father's essence. When we say that the Spirit is spirating, all we mean is that the Spirit comes forth from the Father and the Son's essence. So this is just like some weird blunder. You need to actually clarify the terms that you're meaning, because I think that all those like philosophical terms that you reference have a semantic domain which is categorically dependent. So it depends upon how you reference that. I'm a Western Trinitarian, so we don't hold that the Father is this like monarch. We hold that the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are identical in substance. So they are unified in substance.
What did he say?
The Son proceeds from the Father. The Son is begotten, not made, co-eternal, of one substance with the Father.
All right, Anas.
Did you see Itachi's comment?
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
Go for it. This is the last word, and we're done for the night. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the brother, he made a good point. Q-Top didn't tell us what type of cause again. So Aristotle, he mentions 4 different types of causes in order to say that this thing is caused. He mentions efficient cause, he mentions a material cause. There's 4 different causes, okay? And Q-Top, you were not able to bring us one of the 4. Therefore, we are going to say that you don't have any justification to say that the Father actually begot anything if you cannot identify what type of cause, right? And causation is not necessarily something that is temporal. Literally, classical theism is something that disagrees with this, and you're a classical theist. That's embarrassing. But that'll be it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, the only time we really use cause, like, because you can see it a lot in the Greek fathers, especially, they just mean principle of something.
Yeah.
So not in a term that Aristotle is using it like, oh yeah, something's, in the 4 different types of causes. So it's just we're just using the word different.
Saint Aquinas talks about it too, and
you said Saint. Oh yeah, he Catholic. Oh yeah, we got him. We got him.
He does
We
talk
knew he was
about it.
undercover.
We wouldn't
Q-Top was right
say
about you. You see?
nah. We
You
wouldn't
see?
say that the persons are like causing the Aristotelian causes. That's not something that we would say. So then that's one of the reasons as to why you can say that like all the persons have aseity, because we wouldn't say that they're causing the Aristotelian.
He said we, that means him, the Pope, the Magisterium.
I am not a Catholic. When I say we, I'm talking about Christians as a whole.
You already done said it, brother.
You should not reject that like the Son and Spirit have
called him a
aseity,
saint.
like in regards to their essence, obviously.
Is that the end of this madness? I'm actually pissed off that we watched that whole thing, bro.
We didn't even watch the whole thing, and it still took forever. Yo, listen, you got to give your review. What you think? Who you think won? Oh, as a matter of fact, before, because I was recently called a liar, and said that I was just making stuff up.
Disagree to that.
Yeah, Allah's essence has parts.
Oh, okay.
The
So,
parts are dependent upon Allah.
is Allah's essence not
That was like 2 weeks ago, bro.
That wasn't Anas.
And Nas was up there saying
You was
that
agreeing
Allah,
with it.
yeah,
He was agreeing
Nas
with
was up there saying that Allah has parts. That's
He
the
was
thing.
like, well, prove it wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's not what that means. Allah's essence has parts doesn't mean that Allah's essence has parts.
Having us up?
What's the name? Nah, Nas was up. I didn't record the whole thing. I heard Elijah submitted to
I'm not
Nicaea
finna
too.
do another
Amen.
Q-Top debate review like that, brother. I can't go through that other one that they did on Darren's Live, but I can't do that one. Well, anyway, the moral of the story is like if you're gonna use definitions, use like definitions in a way that everybody can understand, so that they can participate, and also like don't just come up with like stuff off the top of your head.
Rate the debate. Would you recommend
on a scale
it?
Of what?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a great debate. Would you recommend? Who do you think won? You gotta say all of those things.
Because it had a structure, I'll give it a 1.
Okay. Who do you think won? Would you recommend watching this debate?
What was the debate title? Like what was
the Trinity? Is it logical?
So they have to prove that it's logical or illogical or what?
Yeah, that was the purpose of the debate. Anas was supposed to prove that it's illogical, and Q-Top is supposed to prove that it's logical.
Well, Anas didn't prove that it's illogical. Q-Top, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know, man. Like, because I judge things based off of the content that's said, not like who did better at like words or whatever, like or rhetoric. Like it was just horrendous. Like that was a 0-sum. Like nobody won anything after that. Like we wasted life hours.
Yeah,
like watching that jump live, you wasted your life, and that's something like you can't get that time back. Like those seconds are gone.
Yeah,
for good.
I mean, so I would say, yeah, I'd rate the debate a 1. I wouldn't recommend it at all. It's not a good debate. I wish it was more edifying. I wish it had more substance to it, but it just doesn't. I wish that both, especially Q-Talk, because he's a Christian, I wish he like read more and wanted to articulate as best as he could on what Christians actually believe. And I think in doing so, you should hold a reference for the early church, which it doesn't seem like he really holds a reference for that. for Anas, it seems like it was just more like rhetoric rather than substance. I think that Anas had the platform in which he could have executed. Like, I think Anas had all the tools to actually execute. It might be hard with somebody like Q-Top because a lot of times you don't know what's going on. You don't know what he's saying. But I don't think that Anas actually executed. I think you got off topic. I think for 16 minutes in the cross-examination, you guys were talking about humanity. And maybe that should have been a time where you move on. I think that both win though, because they left with like $2,000 each. So like, even though there was no substance, brothers left with their rent paid. So
was Bryce too harsh? No, not really.
Was Bryce too harsh? Who said that?
Somebody named G-Mac.
Yeah, they both left with like crazy amounts of money. And so in that sense, they win in regards to being.
I guarantee you, Crown saying haters cannot explain or articulate either one of the positions. I would put money on that.
He thinks that we're hating? That's crazy.
I mean, if you count hating as just like being upset that stuff is just like wrong theologically, philosophically, yeah. Amen. Like, what you mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. In regards to that, though, I don't think it was a good debate. I don't think either one won in regards to providing any substance. In regards to money in the pockets, they won.
Pocket watching, Elijah.
Hey, I was like, dang, I ain't ever seen this many coins in my life. I was like, dang, I wonder how much TikTok's gonna take out of this.
Elijah was texting on the group chat.
What's the
Have
biggest?
you ever seen somebody get to 1 million coins?
Nah, I ain't say all that.
This many.
What's the biggest blunder? I think the biggest blunder is gonna come on the side of Q-Top when he said that the divine essence took on humanity.
No, that's not nearly the biggest blunder because he corrected that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess nobody caught it.
No, the biggest blunder was saying that is conceptual. The distinction is
It's
conceptual.
conceptual, and then he said
in
it was
the mind
real.
of God.
Yeah,
that's horrendous. You can't say that. And then the blunder that Nas made is just not knowing the difference between having a common essence and like individual people having different bodies and stuff. Like that's just basic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like debates for pure rhetoric. That's not my thing. Just trying to catch somebody up on whether or not they know a term or how to define a term. It's not like you guys actually believe in the things that you guys say that you believe, then you should be trying to show that your position is true rather than just trying to degrade your opponent. I understand that there is some rhetoric that goes in it, but it's like, dude, like if you guys really care about what you're talking about, you should be more concerned with the substance of the debate rather than like trying to show that this person doesn't know what this term or whatever. They have another debate coming up on Saturday. I'm not finna. I don't think we're gonna go through this. Prayerfully, Q-Top reads.
This was not fun.
Yeah, I would pray that Q-Top reads. I pray that he reads like Islamic sources if you're gonna be debating Tawhid. You want to try to articulate your opponent's position well if you're going to try to destroy it. You don't want to straw man, obviously. So I hope he reads Islamic sources. He understands what school of thought Anas like holds to, so that he could actually steel man Anas's position and then destroy it if he can. I think that Anas did come prepared though. Like I said, he did come with 3 different arguments. I don't think he did well in a cross exam because, like as Jordan said, the arguments didn't come up again. Like he didn't bring those things up.
That's what Abe said.
Yeah. Oh, Abe said it. My fault. So I do like the fact that Anas came prepared. I hope that Q-Top comes prepared when it's his turn. You guys go ahead and tune in. I might not be there. But here, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Last week, if not earlier this week, Q-Top was saying F the Orthodox, F the Apostolic Church Christians because they so fake, they phony because of this individual right here, right? Q-Top and Jordan got into it, so he was hot. Man, Q-Top got 400,000 coins. Just look at what money maker do, man. He starts saying, man, I show love to all of my apostolic Christian brothers and sisters in Christ. I always got love for y'all.
I'm still blocked, by the way. Like,
I'm
we
blocked.
all
Right. I'm blocked. Jordan blocked. Is anybody
I
else?
ain't even do nothing, bro.
I was in the comments. Yeah, Jordan.
You pulled up on me, bro.
Jordan talked to him and posted it. I ain't even do nothing. I probably sent a laughing emoji, and that was enough for me to get clipped. But yeah,
I ain't even Orthodox, bro. I ain't Catholic either, bro. And he just
lying. So he anathematized all of y'all? Yeah, bro. Where's the post? It's on Jordan Travis YouTube. His YouTube is the Jordan Travis Show. And y'all go and subscribe to Jordan. He's gonna be going live on the White and Red app as well as TikTok. We love TikTok Shop as always. If you guys liked the debate review, thank Abe, thank Jordan. I don't think I really spoke much, but shout out to both of them for coming up. And I appreciate you guys staying. God bless you guys. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit, I pray that all of you guys are well. All right, we still on YouTube. Don't say anything. That's crazy.
You act like I'm gonna say something crazy. Hey, let's do a Slim debate review. No, I'm just playing.
Bro, hey, if we did a live reaction, hold on. If we did a live reaction.
Cause she live right now. She ain't talking to nobody.
She live right now? Oh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
They ain't talking to nobody though. They out there just chatting.
Y'all was at, man, it was cute yesterday. Y'all was up there.
Oh, now Basil out there. Yeah, they ain't talking about nothing.
Oh, yo. I put it on your hairline. I put it on every cap that you put on your head when you walk in the building.
See, bro, I don't get on TikTok for like. Oh,
I need to get something to eat, bro.
Nah, bro, you chilling, bro. But yeah, man, God bless y'all on YouTube as well. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit, I pray that all of you guys are well.